Good evening, welcome to Outside the Box. I'm your host, Kate of Gaia, with fellow host Tony. Ready to get on the board here. So right now it's, wow, the whole phone board is lit to the nines. It's going to be another fun night tonight, I can tell. So anyway, it's going to be kind of a bit of a smorgasbord tonight. I just want to check on Santo, because we finished off this thing off. We were going to get Carol's astrology read, so I'm just going to tag Santo here and see if he's ready to go, and we'll get him in, and we'll bring Carol into the call first off. It's going to be a wide open sort of night tonight. A lot of things that I want to cover. Just basic information for people to try to get them into the right headspace as far as what's really going on with the system, and that everything that is going wrong with this planet is your fault. And I'll prove it. And as soon as you can get over that, you'll be fine. The sooner you get over it, the sooner the rest of us that already have and are holding by our fingernails to survival, because everyone's still, banging the whore of Babylon like, nobody's business. The sooner that information finally sinks in, this consciousness will come back to life in a pure way, instead of this whore of Babylon, mark of the beast nonsense that we've been living in for the last 2,160 years. Age of Pisces is gone, boys and girls. We're in Aquarius now, so it's time to pull up our socks and stop saying I believe and start saying I know. I've been saying I know for a while. Anyway, we got Tony here, so... Tony, how are you doing, my friend?
Not too bad, not too bad. Extremely busy. Breaking news about, Thatcher and the missile crisis and all this sort of stuff. But,
all the false flags they want to do. Yeah, we were just chatting there back and forth on Skype texting, and I got a lot of stuff done today. I got the rest of the week all booked up as far as shows are concerned. That's including yours, Tammy. Tammy and Pat, yeah, we got you guys all set. And I was even able to shove a pineapple in the ass of the system today as well, so I'm really happy about that. And as far as I heard, Pluto just went retrograde, and I got to tell you, I knew something was up today, because I am absolutely on fire. So be guarded. I have a feeling there will be a little bit of Katie potty mouth going on tonight when I get rolling. Fair, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way it works, right?
I've had the sort of like the fallout of it today, so yeah, I know what you're saying.
Well, not for me. I've been nice to you.
I'm just wait. Yeah, no, just watch.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Just watch yourself, all right? Anyway, kidding. We have so much fun, Tony and Santo and I, and you know what? Hell with it. I'm just going to pull Santo in, because he's showing online here, so see if I can grab him. And if he can't take it, then he can always jump back into the call when he needs to. And I'm going to open up Carol's line first, because I can. How cool is that shit? I love this. The power of the click. It's just incredible. Carol, how are you, hon?
You're too damn funny, but I love you to pieces. Oh, I should say, and I love you to pieces.
Well, either or works, you've heard me say it many times. I'm not here to win any popularity contests, and I'm not here to tell everyone that you are the resistance. Okay, that's not my game. My game's a whole lot different. Mine is it's all about love conquering all, and I kind of do it my own way. Blatantly honest, making people feel really uncomfortable with the truth, to the degree that it might actually wake them up. And, like I said, I'm not here to win any, prom queen, crowns or anything like that. So, fair? I think that's fair. And
I think that's very fair.
Yeah, and I think, we're just waiting for the phone to stop ringing. I'm just looking at Sando's picture here on Skype, and it's really neat. Synchronicity, this is what we're all about. And the scarf that he's wearing it's got the white, the gray, the black, and the red in a tartan. And as fate would have it, that is my family tartan, and Santo's wearing it in a scarf around his neck. My family colors. Isn't that funny?
That sounds a lot like Berber.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, once you get back online, Carol, and get on to Skype, and we can have these really cool conversations. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to share back and forth. See, the thing is, most people don't know. I've been on the air for over 5 years. And, I've always had good listener numbers, if you want to call it that, as far as getting the awareness out there. What I have seen over the last number of years is that listening populace and the ones that get involved has changed dramatically, and it's went from the fear porn, conspiracy, damn them all attitude, myself included, with damn the system and all the rest of it. They have a vital role to play, if you can see it, to what we have now, which I'm very happy to say is a most enlightened listening group. And I don't say audience because we're doing this together and we're all at the same table. And I don't think, if you want to talk about having an audience, go talk to the Pope or that Sing the Queen or whatever. You want to do that game, that's fine. I don't do that. Told you I'm on a roll tonight.
You're doing a wonderful work, honey, and I've really made a lot of people aware of your call, and I continue to do so every time I get a chance to talk. I'm returning phone calls for all the way back 2 weeks. I've been so darn busy with our phone family, and I'm glad to know that you've been on 5 years. There's not many of us that have been around a long time. We've been almost 9 years this year, and on steadily. We haven't shut down at all. I did shut down 3 calls of mine. I used to do 5 3-hour calls a week, but then when I had heart problems, well, then I had to slow down, so I do 2 calls a week now. And I just try to keep the family together, and do what I can do, and that's what we're all doing. We're doing whatever we can. And I've been involved in this type of work all my life. My mother preceded me. But it's a work of love and dedication and purpose, if you will. And as we wake up, I was in the Christian community all my life. I was born-again Christian all my life. It took me 10 years to make peace with reincarnation, because when you're a Christian, you don't talk to dead people. People don't come back, And at this point, I wonder, well, didn't you see Jesus come back after 3 days, for crying out loud? And, there's just so much that we've been lied to so deeply. They've programmed us so well. And it's hard. It's very, very difficult for people to make peace with what we're putting out there today. A lot of people are ready for it, and they find us, thank God. And I just have to give you more praises for who you are and what you're doing, because that's a long, hard, lonely road in most cases. But I'm really glad people are finding you and loving on you and encouraging you at this point, because you can get real down at some points,
Oh, yeah, that goes without saying. A lot of us have been through the mill, some a lot worse than I, but I'll tell you, my own experience, here's a standard operating procedure of system and the dark principalities, and people have to wake up to the fact that we're not dealing in a physical game here. All right, you think it is. It feels very real, and of course it is real, but there's much more to it, and this is what you've been talking about and what we've been talking about. And what I try to expose is that deeper meaning within. So it's a communications job for me, and I know my chart. I know exactly who I am. I've had lots of wonderful help from Santo Bonacci and Mary and Jet and Jeanette and so many others and Sam Muggsy. Oh my, the list for a while have all gathered around where I've been able to really know myself. I had a good handle on it, but I got to tell you, when you have the heaven fighting for you, it just keeps building that confidence up more and more. And we've all had low points. And before I forget, and before we have Santo in the call now, before I get Santo to do what we tried to start last night and got railroaded, I'd love for you to give out your information, Carol, as far as people. I've had a lot of people ask me how into your call.
Honey, I'm sorry, but you were cutting out on me. I don't know if you're cutting out on everybody or if it's my phone, but I didn't hear that last part.
Okay. Well, that's good. The last.
You're cutting out on me again.
Exactly. It's not like that.
Okay. I guess I'll just keep going until we get there.
I'm here again. Go ahead.
Have you got anything else running on the computer?
No, I have the board and Skype. So, what was I going to say there? Carol, if you could, I've had a lot of people ask me about your phone shows. How do they get on to them? If you give people that information, that would be awesome.
You are so kind to let me share our phone family, and thank goodness we come on after you're over, so that about the time you're over, we actually open up at 15 minutes before your call is finished, but hopefully people can get on without any problem. I have calls on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights, and they start at 8:45 Eastern Time, 5:45 Pacific Time. And the phone number and PIN numbers always stay the same. They don't change. And the phone number is 218-936-4141. And the PIN number is very simple. It's 200 100 pound, 200-100 pound. And our calls are rather structured, so it's a lot different than Kate's call here or any other conference calls you might be used to. Many phone calls have an opportunity to do quite a bit of visiting. We don't have that pleasure on that luxury on our calls because I do, and the Thursday night call is going viral. We've got a gentleman by the name of East Coast that's bringing us pertinent information about the Nasara news, information, and then we have a new person that is of some of the dark bloodlines that comes on after him. We keep her mentioned as Midwest. And then we have a beautiful lady that lives in Vancouver, Vancouver, Canada. She and her husband are beautiful light workers. They were in the dark agenda for many, many years and saw the light and came out of it. And she gives us a wonderful hour of information about coming into the light and living it, and how to recognize it, and how to improve on your abilities, that type of thing. So it's a very popular call. And on Wednesday night we have Cynthia from Atlanta, Georgia, who's miraculous. She is miraculous. That's all I'll say. It's more of a spiritual call, but she addresses all kinds of things on all different levels: religion, psychology, shamanism, astrology, you name it. She's able to be an expert in it. And so that's kind of the sum substance. Our internet site, if you want to write that down, it's not a World Wide Web, so we don't have the www and a dot. If you go to WWL, WF as in family, that all stands for Worldwide Lightworker Family. So it's WWLWF.live journal. That's LIV as in Victor, E, journal, JOURNAL.com. And you'll find myself there and my phone number, and I've been doing that for many, many years. I'm still alive, thank goodness, and for me. And you can find the archived calls. The system archives our calls for 30 days, and so you get 30 days worth of calls if you have time to listen to them. They're all 3-hour or longer calls. And thank you very much, Kate, for letting me do that. That was very kind.
No, thank you. I've already started handing out throughout the Skype rooms that we've got going on here.
Wow.
Well, I'm a Skype whore. That's kind of what I do. So just another shout out. The number is area code 218-936-4141, and the PIN number is 200-100 with the pound sign, which is number. And I actually made a mistake. I put 220, but anyway, it's 200-100. I'll fix that. Sorry, we'll just go do that right now. And the people listening, just so you catch that. There we go. I'll go around and edit that, but the phone number's already out, and we'll get the pen alongside that. And without further ado, Santo, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you very much.
Excellent. Boy, that was fun last night, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Rob, by the way, from Rotherham in England, sent a thank you for reading his. That was the chart I gave you last. He wasn't in the call, but he managed to get it downloaded today. And it says thank you very much, and we'll likely call in Friday, where I even suggested you this Friday coming that he do that, so it's more of a one-on-one. And now, without further ado, the moment I've been waiting for. Carol, it's time to get naked, baby.
Yeah, I've had my doubts about this. I've been attacked so many times by so many people that are of the dark. It's amazing, that I'm willing to put this information out.
The shields are up. Nothing touches you.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate that. Hi, Santos and Tony. How are you two tonight?
Very well, thanks.
Good. God bless you all. Okay,
Yeah.
Santos, I'll let you take over, baby.
Well, I've got, I remember your birthday, can't forget that, the 12th of November 1940. What was the time?
11:15 p.m.
Yeah, I figured, because I worked on it last night, and I had 11:30 for a Leo ascendant. So, all right, 11:15, and place?
Santa Ana, California, USA.
Santa Ana. Okay. I don't get anything for Santa Ana. It's spelled...
Okay, try Orange County, California.
No, hang on. Oh, there it is. It's one N. I was going to ask, yeah, because the Spanish is the one N. Okay. So, 12th of November, 1940, 23:15, Santa Ana, Orange County.
Right.
Right. Beautiful. Yeah, you've got Leo ascendant on the 20th degree. Mine's on the 22nd degree. So.
Wow! Within conjunction there.
Yep. And. Okay. Well, let's. Where do you start? You know, I like to start. I like to start from a different place every time. But anyway, let's have a look at this then. So, beautiful Taurus moon. That's very, very nice. The moon exalts in Taurus. You've got 4 planets in Taurus, and 3 of them are in the 9th house, which is spirituality, really, dreams, visions. So that's going on. You've definitely activated your spirituality. There's no two ways about that by having the Saturn, Jupiter, and the moon in the 9th house. The moon will be very brilliant up there in Taurus because she loves a night chart. You have a night chart, so it's the nocturnal sect, which means that the night planets, Mars, Venus, and the moon, will rejoice in your chart. Whereas Saturn and Jupiter and Mercury will be less happy. But your Leo ascendant tells a lot about you. Kate and myself also have Leo ascendants. I'd just like to read that from Firmicus, what it means, and you'll see how that resonates with you. I can already pick that up from your energy that that this certainly applies to you. Many toils and dangers are indicated by the ascendant in Leo, but great fame throughout life. The native will be freeborn, have unlimited power, and never use his power for evil. He will secure his possessions by his own efforts and attain power of command. That's what the Leo ascendant gives you. Danger, because it's a fire sign. Anyone who has Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo as their ascendant will have that element, an element of danger. That ascendant in fire. People pick that up when you walk in a room. Especially Leos, you know, it's the sunshine, it's the heart, it's radiance, it's confidence, it's the purring cat, the lion, the cheetah, the panther, the leopard, walking into the room. So people pick that up first, before your sun sign. Totally. First impressions is your ascendant. So, you know, the ascendant, and Leo's also associated with, the limelight, because it's the sun. So you're going to be the type that is going to be in the limelight, whether you're seeking it or not. And hence, there it says that great fame throughout life. Yeah, well, because, you know, even if you don't seek it, it will be. It's just the energy that comes to you. It's people know you, and people want to know you, whether they like you or not, you know. But it's that Leo ascendant, the sun on the rising. So very important to keep that in mind. All right. Your dragon's head is in Libra, right next to Venus, and Venus is the ruler of Libra. So there's another essential dignity, 5 points, very, very strengthened Libra in the 3rd house. But she's not aspecting with anyone, Venus. So that's interesting. In the 3rd house, the house of communication, brothers and short journeys, Venus, the love principle is not aspecting. So that's interesting. That's something for you to think about. I guess that will mean, I don't know, probably an aloofness or a detachment somehow with your brothers and sisters and your kin and your neighbours, in terms of, not in terms of communication and love, but a certain aloofness. You know, Venus is not participating. When a planet is not participating, it has several meanings, but one of them is detachment and aloofness. All right. So, but she's very well placed there, right next to the dragon's head, Rahu. So keep that Libra. When the moon's in Libra, you're going to have your good day, and you will succeed. And just watch the moon, because you'll see how, as she's transiting Libra, you'll see how it affects you. Look at your moods, study your moods. Always have a moon tracker with you. Always know where the moon is, so that you know what energies those signs give you. When the moon is in air signs, you will be thinking. When the moon is in water signs, you will be emotional. When the moon is in fire signs, you will be inspired. When the moon is in earth signs, you will be sensual. Now that's very superficial and basic there, but it gives you the fundamental idea of the elements as the moon travels through the elements. Every 2 days, 2.5 days, a different element. And we are being tossed and turned by her fast movements. She's rapid. That's why you've got to keep track of her first, because she's also your thoughts and your soul. And
also,
so you
my what? She's always
your soul.
What? I'm sorry?
Your thoughts and your soul. Your thoughts, thinking, and
Thoughts?
your soul, the deep soul within.
Oh, thoughts and soul. Okay.
Yeah. So your soul is the moon and right brain, and your thoughts and your inner reactive, secretive you, the true you, Taurian. So your reaction will be very, very solid. If people, in any instance, your reaction will be the bull. Feet on the ground, solid, stubborn, can't move you. And for goodness sakes, you've even got Saturn in Taurus. That's even more solid. Lead. And you've got Jupiter, firmness. And you've got Uranus, rebelliousness and individuality. So don't let anybody cause you to react in a or don't let them try to cause you to react in the way that they want to, because it won't happen. Your reaction, your moon is solid, and she's sharing the same sign, Taurus, with other planets, so she's extra strengthened. So that's your inner nature, the moon. The moon exalts in Taurus. She gets 4 points up there in the spiritual house, the 9th house. All right, so now you need to look at the lords of the ascendant, the lords of fire by night, Jupiter first, then the Sun, then Saturn. So there's a little homework for you to do. We won't do that today, but those 3 planets in that order, they have to do with your body and your life and vitality and strength of your organism in this incarnation. Jupiter, then the Sun, then Saturn. Kate and I have the Sun first, then Jupiter, then Saturn, because we have a day chart, you have a night chart. Alright, so that's the general stuff with you, Carola. Unless you've got any questions, I can go way deeper. You can spend hours on this. There's so many things. I could do a chart. I could do your medicals. I could do your chart reading. We already learnt about your Leo ascendant. I can do your Taurus MC, your Aquarian descendant, and your Scorpio IMC. They are the most important angles. Those 4 are the most influential in your life. So eventually you will need to know what it means to have a Taurian midheaven.
Well, you know, I was going to say something.
Yep.
No time like the present. You know what, Carol? With your chart and all the work that you've done and everything else, let's go downtown, shall we?
You're welcome to do whatever you want, dear. I don't want to take up any more time from
please.
other people than needed.
No, it's an open forum tonight, so it's this kind of teaching right now is exactly what people need to get to understand who they are, and how to tie in the as above to the so below. It's such a critical piece of this puzzle that until we get there, get it into the consciousness. And when I talked to Santo afterwards last night when the show went down, this is the time to do this because we have many listening. And the more people that Santo can talk to, the happier I am. Same with you too. So this, for me, is poetry in motion, and I'm a musician. So let's sing, shall we?
Oh, God bless you. Well, Thank you very much for all of this. I'm so appreciative of it.
Yeah, no problem, sister. All right, so the first angle, we've got that out of the way. We know that you are a person that has unlimited power with a Leo ascendant. Never use power for evil. That is established. That's what Leo does. It's the heart. It's the heart coming up and apparent to all. People see your heart. It's your passion coming through. And with the Scorpio sun, the intense emotion behind it and the martial energy of Scorpio, the watery psychic powers of Scorpio, and by the way, you have Mercury right next to the sun in conjunction in Scorpio. So there's also communication and intellect with your intense action, with sun. Mercury is now the servant of his sun. Whenever a planet is combust, or within 8.5 degrees of the sun, that planet serves the sun. And this is a repeat lesson in your life because Mercury is retrograding. So you did not get this right in last lives. So you need, communication is important to you. And Mercury, Hermes, is serving your sun, your spirit. So you must have a hermetic bent. And Hermes is the servant of your sun. Now, your second angle is the MC, Taurus. So brace yourself, this is what it says. If the ascendant is found in Taurus, the native will be worn out with many kinds of suffering. Whatever he achieves in early youth will always lose, but afterwards will regain it again. He will see his enemies laid low. So ain't no enemy going to come and conquer you. Your enemies will be laid low. In other words, you will have the upper hand. You have the bull in your midheaven. No one conquers the bull in the second most powerful angle. And no one can deny the ascendant's power. Leo's power is always used for good. Your third angle, the sorry. Let me go back. That was Taurus ascendant I was reading. I don't want to make mistakes here. Excuse me. No, what you want is Taurus MC. Here we go. The MC in Taurus. Excuse me, folks. Let's scratch that from before. The MC in Taurus predicts a life in a public place or a temple. So this is really telling you about spirituality here. If someone's serving in a temple or life in a temple, that will be prominent. That will be a prominent feature in their life. And since you have the Saturn, Jupiter, and the Moon, Saturn and Jupiter retrograding too in Taurus, which means that you will have. That's a repeat lesson. You've got to get your spirituality right here too. You know, this is a great chance for you. You didn't get it right in past lives. And by the way, Pluto. You have Pluto, where I have Mars in the 12th house in Leo, as I have Mars in Leo, in the 12th house. Both of them are destructive. You don't want planets in the 12th house, and especially not Pluto or Mars, like you and I. And so that does show that, you know, you do all the work you were supposed to in a past life. That's pretty obvious. Same as me, same as anyone who has that in their, well, Mars and Pluto, destructive planets in the 12th house, certainly indicate that. Saturn also. All right?
Yes.
Happy
Wonderful.
Happy so far?
Oh, I'm very happy. You're so right on. You're better than anybody I've ever worked with. Thank you.
The native will be greatly honoured by powerful men, will be knowledgeable in all things, and have a great increase in good fortune. That's the Taurus MC.
I missed part of that. My phone blanked out on me. What was it about? I think I blanked out after you said something about men. The MC,
no
Taurus
problem.
MC,
yep.
And then something about men.
Okay, well, we've already established...
I'm not getting you either. Hang on a minute. God darn this cord. Maybe it's the cord, maybe it's not. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
And we can hear you.
I got you now. Okay. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that? I apologize.
No worries. Stop apologizing.
No problem.
It's all good.
So Taurus in the MC predicts a life in a public place or a temple. So you are public, you're on the radio, you are dealing with spiritual matters having to do with temple. Temple comes from tempo, timing, Saturn. And you've got Saturn in the 9th house, spirituality. So that's what temple means, time, being caught in space and time. But Taurus MC guarantees, you see, the native will be greatly honoured by powerful men, or by a powerful man, will be knowledgeable in all things, and have a great increase in good fortune. Well, why would that be? Well, because the bull is associated with positive charging, climbing. That's why they have a bull market. When the market is in bull mode, it's climbing. Everybody's happy. When it's in bear mode, watch out. So the bull will always increase, because Taurus is the second sign and also corresponds to the second house. And the number 2 also. And 2 means pulling, increase. So of course the bull is going to give you increase on your second angle. Third angle, Aquarius. If the descendant is in Aquarius, and I have this, indicates a life of ups and downs. In some cases, there will be popularity and approval. Scorpio. This is your 4th angle, the bottommost point, Carol. So I'm just going to do those 4, because those have 50% influence in your chart. The other 8 houses combined take care of the other 50%. But these definitely are your drivers. These are your 4 winds, the 4 directions, the 4 cardinal points, the movable points, the angles. If the IMC is in Scorpio, the native will be in charge of certain projects. But if Mars... Nope, that's all I can say. That's the only thing that applies to you. You'll be in charge of certain projects. Not much information about Scorpio on the IMC. But there you go. Leo gives you great virtues and great features and propensities. Taurus gives you increase, the bull in the midheaven. And when you look to the midheaven, always look for career path. So, and look to the element. The element is earth. And look to the sign that is there, if there is a planet that is there. Now you have Uranus in the 10th house, or the second angle, the MC. Now, in Taurus. Now, what does that mean? So you've got 4 planets in Taurus. Uranus is the only one that's in the 10th house. The other 3 I mentioned, Saturn, Jupiter, Moon, are in the 9th house. So the midheaven splits them apart, but Uranus is found in the portion of the 10th house. Now, what this means is that you will be very individual when it comes to your career. Revolutionary, out of the box, illuminated, rebellious. It's no use you trying to find a job where you've got 6 bosses and all kinds of people telling you what to do. You need to be your own boss. You need to find a job where you control the whole career, everything. And that's what it means, because Uranus is too rebellious. I did mention yesterday, check out the chart of James Dean. He has Uranus right on the degree of the ascendant. And I also have Uranus in the first house. So it's a similar kind of thing. Now, he was always going to be a rebel, that guy. And he was always going to feature in one of the most popular movies of all time, entitled Rebel Without a Cause. Now, you look at the photos of James Dean, and you rarely see him in a pose where there's no attitude. There's always attitude coming through his Aquarian nature, the humanitarian, Aquarian, Saturnian person that he was. So, look for Uranus. If he's in the 10th house, that means your work, you'll be a rebel there. So don't get yourself a boss. If it's in the 7th house, which is the house of marriage and partners, well, that will indicate that you're looking for a very individual and revolutionary type of person to hook up with. Or it means that you will be very radical and out of the box when it comes to conjugal relationships. Alrighty, well, I'm still going here, guys. I can just keep on going.
I did say we're going downtown on this one, right? So, and then I had half a dozen calls before we even got on the air tonight. So we got a full plate tonight. So carry on. It's good. This is good.
Yeah. Moon in the 9th house by night. You can rest assured that will stir up the dreams and the intuition. You got intuition is going, that's for sure. Now, you do have quite a few oppositions in your chart. These are like strings that are slightly out of tune, whereas trines are in tune. Now, you have a trine and a sextile. That's nice. Now, your trine is attuned to Uranus. So, now this is beautiful flowing energy, because usually a trine is a relationship between corresponding elements. So, in other words, earth to earth, fire to fire, air to air, water to water, whereas an opposition is opposing elements. So, for instance, you've got the sun in the 4th house, in water, Scorpio, opposed to Saturn and Uranus in earth. Two feminine emotion. Or challenges that apply to a certain kind of dynamic in your life. So that's what oppositions and squares do. They put opposing elements in your life at perpendicular angles. Square is perpendicular, and an opposition is an affront. It's like direct face-on energy, you know. So it's like your enemy's standing in front of you, looking into your eyes. That's an opposition, and they are opposing elements usually. Depending on where the planets are placed, if they're in the middle of the sign around the 15th degree, and it's opposing another planet, you can rest assured it will be perfectly opposite in an opposite sign. But if the planet's sort of on the fringe, on the edge, like the 1st degree or the 29th or 30th degree of a sign, it can be opposing another planet in an opposite element, but not the directly opposite one. But it will be always, all oppositions in charts are dealing with opposing energies. So you must understand this. So the two elements have been put at contrasting positions against each other, you see? And so it's up to us to work with those energies, to discover what they are. Now, doing a quick reading like this is what I call a quick reading. It's just not worth going into, you know, the depth of these accidental dignities. That's what they're called. Essential dignities. We've already done that. I prefer to deal with essential dignities when I'm doing a quick reading for people. For instance, I told you that Venus is in Libra. Oh, that's beautiful. The moon is in Taurus. So immediately what stands out to me is that those beautiful feminine planets are very happy in a night chart, and they have so much essential dignity. 4 points with the moon in Taurus, an exaltation. 5 points with Venus in Libra, a domicile. So there's 9 points of essential dignities. There's probably more, but I haven't checked the terms and the faces and the nouns and all of that stuff yet. But you can put that little feather in your hat, and you can be happy with that. What does Venus mean in Libra? Well, wherever Venus is, she brings beauty. If you have Venus in Aries or Taurus, it will put beauty in your face because the signs are in your head. If you have Venus and you're a woman and you have Venus in Cancer, you will have beautiful breasts. If you have it in Leo, you will have a beautiful back. The back will be beautiful. If you have it in Virgo, it will be the belly area. If you have it in Libra, it's the whole body. So the whole body has been beautified by its placement of Venus in Libra, etc., etc. In the feet, Pisces, it will cause you to be a person who walks with beauty. In other words, the message you bring, because whatever is in Pisces tells you what message you bring to people. If you have Mars in Pisces, that means you are martial. You have action in your feet. The feet carry the message. That's the messenger. This is why we call them runners, couriers. Magazines are still called couriers because in ancient times the runner would deliver messages. So Pisces tells you what you're going to be carrying. Now, so look to that. Now I've got 3 planets in my Pisces. I've got Jupiter, who exalts, who rules in Pisces. So rest assured that I'm going to be bringing jovial Jupiterian themes to people, which is law, sovereignty. Jupiter's all about sovereignty and law and what is just and virtuous. He is the greater benefic. I also have the moon and Mercury in Pisces. So I'm delivering hermetic messages. I'm delivering, information about how to be intuitive. The moon is in my feet in Pisces, in the terms of Mercury and in the face of Jupiter. So all of these things matter. Look to where the planets are, and if you've seen my presentations, you'll know, that Aries is the cerebrum, Taurus is the cerebellum, Gemini is the arms, and you just go all the way down the body to Pisces, the feet. And look at the planets. Are they hot planets? Are they masculine? Are they feminine? Are they cold and moist and dry? Or are they hot, like Jupiter, for instance, is hot and moist. That's what makes him the greater benefic. So hot and moist, see, hot heat is generating and moisture is generating. So that's why he's the greater benefic. Venus is the lesser benefic because she's cool and moist. So coldness is not good for nature, for growth in nature. But moisture is, therefore she is a benefic. Saturn is cold and dry. Both of these are considered to be evil. So get to know where the planets are, and you will understand the way you are. Now, for you, Carol, to have 4 planets in Taurus, Taurus is your mouth, your throat, your speaking, a lot of facial things. So what's coming out of your mouth? Well, Moon is in Taurus, so intuition. Jupiter is coming out of your mouth. Magnanimous themes. Law. Sovereignty. Check out your Taurus. The Taurus has produced most of the greatest philosophers who have ever lived, including Plato, and even the most popular ones, whether you like them or not, like Karl Marx, Taurian. They're great speakers. They have eloquence, especially if the planets found therein are found in beautiful degrees. For instance, there are degrees that are empty, there are degrees that are full. Get to know those. If all your planets are in empty degrees, you will find that life is not going anywhere for you. Everything's in a rut. Your planets are not moving because the degrees are empty. You want them in full degrees. Degrees are productive. Then there's dark degrees. Some people have a dark complexion. You know, you might have a family of 4, and one of them's dark. How the hell did he get dark? Well, because his sun is in a dark degree. My sun in the 2nd degrees of Aries is in a dark degree. If I was born 3 days later, I would have a lighter complexion. Because from 4 degrees to 6 degrees, Aries, don't quote me, but the first 3 degrees of Aries are dark. Those Arians will be darker than the rest of their families, unless their families have their sun in dark degrees also. And then there are feminine degrees, masculine degrees. Well, my sun is in the 1st degrees of Aries. In the terms of Jupiter, those are masculine degrees. So that probably indicates that my first child will be masculine, which is the case. So you can find out the gender of your children, what they will be. You can plan all these things. This is the true eugenics. In Egypt, they developed the science of eugenics, the true science, not the shit that Bill Gates is getting up to, you know, killing kids with vaccinations and you know, trying to decimate the Earth's population. That's a co-opted, corrupted eugenics. But back in good old Egypt, you would go to an astrologer and say, all right, what time of the day should I cut the umbilical cord of my child? And when should we conceive? And the astrologer will tell you, you need to conceive between the 15th of June and the 15th of July. And then when the child comes to be born, make sure you do not cut his umbilical cord between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. or 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Whatever. Because between 4 and 6 is one of those times that if Mars or Pluto or the Sun is transiting there, you're more than likely to have the Sun or Mars in the 8th house, or Mars in the 7th house, which is just trouble. You know, so you've got to find out where Mars is and make sure that people are not bringing their children into the world at certain hours of the day, because there will be certain hours you don't want Mars to bring children in when Mars is in certain signs, or Saturn, because they will bring ill health to your children. And it's only a matter of minutes. It's only a matter of having a good astrologer stand by, or you, yourself, the parents, being well versed in astrology and knowing when to cut the cord. You know that there's going to be for instance, the moon is going to be aspecting well with the sun on a particular moment, and you cut the cord at that moment, and you bless your children. So sorry, I've deviated from your chart, Carol, but this is all good information for the listeners. Do you have any specific questions?
No, Santos, you have been rich with information for me. I used to do astrology, and then I thought, well, I guess maybe it's not serving me well. I guess I'll give my life back to Jesus, and I threw everything away. I had charts on my friends and my family and my animals and everything, and I've lost a lot of it. You know, I remember some, but I need to get a good book and get back into learning what I can, and you have been very, very generous and very, very wonderful to share what you have with me. I appreciate you so much, and Kate, God bless you for allowing him to do this for me and for the edification of everybody else, you know. So thank you very, very, very much.
Oh, the pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I was going to say the pleasure is ours, and I know it's beautiful to listen to other people's charts and what you know of them and how bang on they are, you know, because I live strictly on an intuitive level. So, yeah, it's wonderful. Here's a question that came in on Facebook for you. Someone was asking what your Wednesday and Thursday night calls are about. I know you've mentioned it, but if you could go over that one more time, that would be awesome.
Oh, that's so nice of you. And Santos, again, honey, thank you very, very much. And I don't feel as naked as I thought I'd feel, the way that you presented everything. I appreciate that. My Wednesday call is more of a spiritual nature. Cynthia from Atlanta, Georgia, is our speaker on that call. And she brings to us information about religions, about the Bible, about astrology, shamanism, philosophy, just about everything. She's kind of our mentor of our phone family, getting us through the rough waters that we've gone through. She can see on the other side of the veil. She's saved my life about 8 or 9 times in the last few years when I've been psychically attacked. And when my contract was over, I told her, I said, oh, I ain't going to go. You just renegotiate my contract. And she did. And she works with the spirit doctors on the other side. And it's really lovely to be introduced to something that we knew nothing about that is so real in our face. So that's kind of what the Wednesday night call is. And the Thursday night call has been more of a family-oriented call, but it has just recently changed into information about what's going on. And from the Nasara Dark Agenda aspect, we have 2 speakers that bring information about what's happening and going on, along with what all of us can pick up. And then we read a few reports. We read the Poof report, the Sheldon Neidl report, and the John Smallman report. And we're kind of phasing out of Sheldon Neidl, I think, because some of the things we just don't agree with. But then Sharon from Vancouver, Vancouver, Canada, comes on and gives us about an hour of information about moving into the 5th dimension, changing frequency and what's happening and that kind of thing. And Cynthia gets into a lot of that on the Wednesday call, too. So we're kind of an over-the-top group. If you're not ready for us, you probably won't resonate. But what I do, I tell our new callers, look, you've all been to a beautiful breakfast or brunch at some hotel or on a ship or somewhere, and they have a great big long table. It's a smorgasbord. And so as you go down the line, you take onto your plate what you want and leave the rest. And that's what I suggest people do when they come into our calls. And very similar to what Kate is providing for you here, only Kate is a little more over the top than we are, and I'm so happy I found Kate because I am ready for this person. And it's a beautiful thing that Kate is doing to open up people's hearts, get rid of the frickin' judgment that the Dark Agenda has programmed us with, and get rid of that crap. It doesn't serve us well. I don't mean to attack the Christians, but I was one most of all of my life. And I'm going to tell you, it took me 10 years to make peace with reincarnation. And when I finally accepted reincarnation, it answered so many questions. I felt like 20,000 pounds of concrete block were lifted off my shoulders, because it answers to me why a baby is born blind or crippled or disadvantaged in some way when life is supposed to be beautiful. At least that's what we think. And it has not been. It's been horrible for a lot of people. We've all been through a lot of stuff that they've put us through. And physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, every way possible. Materialistically and that type of thing. And we've got to get out of judgment. And as I was a Christian most of my life, the thing I detested most, and I hope, Kate, you don't mind me saying these things, and I hope I don't offend anybody too badly.
No,
on this call.
I'm glad you are. So I did say downtown, and that's what this show's all about, and this is what Saturday nights are all about. Any of the open forums that we do, this is about let it rip. You got a platform, voice it, and I don't care. This is, hey, we have a disclaimer for a reason. I'm going to quote Mark Passio. Yeah, I guess it came up to him at one time and says, well, I don't really believe what you're saying, and he just came back with, well, truth doesn't require your belief. So.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so
that is
go for
truly
it.
A beautiful quote. But what I found in the churches, and this went on lifetime after, year after year after year, because I was raised by my grandmother who was Seventh-day Adventist, and it hit me just as a young child when I was playing with Betty down the street, and I was telling her how wonderful she was, and she says, well, honey, I don't know how the conversation got started, but anyway, what came out of my grandmother was if she's not a Seventh-day Adventist, she wouldn't go to heaven. And I said, but Grandma, she's so sweet. She's such a nice person. Well, honey, I'm really sorry. If she's not Seventh-day Adventist, she won't go to heaven. That did not resonate with me, and I was probably 5 or 6 at that time. And so my life has been a life of questioning all the things that people try to force me into believing. I had a girlfriend I met in 2nd grade, and until the day she died, and I think it was 2004, she was trying to make me believe and not go to astrology or anything, because that's of the occult, that's of the devil. And what I find in the churches is something I just rebel against, something horrible. So when Santos says I'm in, with Uranus in the 10th house and that kind of thing, in Taurus near the midheaven and everything, I'm a rebel. Well, yeah, I have been. And everything he said about my work history and careers, I cannot be subordinated. I cannot work with other people, or, I can't be controlled by other people. It is not successful at all. And I have been self-employed for most of my life. And but what I find is there's so much judgment, hypocrisy, and jealousy, and backbiting, and horrible things. Some of these dinar calls that I get on, a lot of Christians on those, and they're vicious. They're vicious. They're always attacking somebody that doesn't believe in them, believe their way. And when they pray, they only pray for themselves, the group that they're with, and the Christians. They don't include 7 billion people on the planet, for God's sake. There's a lot of people, and they all come from different countries. They speak different languages. They have red blood flowing through their veins. They bleed just like you and me, and they might be Muslim or Buddhist or whatever. Who in the hell cares? They're people. Now, you don't have to like everybody that you meet, but they are human beings, and God loves everybody unconditionally, whether you're of the dark or whether you're of the light. He doesn't care. He loves you, and you can always count on that love. It's unconditional. And, little animals, if you've ever had a pet dog that absolutely adored you, and you came in from work one day and you were just owly as all get out, you'd had a bad day, and you pushed the dog away, and you went in and got your favorite beer or coffee or whatever it is, your comfort, whatever, and sat down in your chair. Even though you've brushed your dearest friend away, he will be back, and he'll have his chin on your knee looking up at you with those soulful eyes. I love you. And when Kate mentioned love conquers all, God has brought me out to the desert in California many years ago, and I was very angry about that. And but in one day I was, I just had to find a place to stay, and it was with my daughter out in the desert, which she was not happy about because she and I are not very close. And so when Santos made the comment that my familial ties are not real strong, that's absolutely correct. I love my kids. Don't get me wrong, I love them dearly, but the ties aren't real strong. And this thing that says blood is thicker than water, I don't believe that anymore. I used to believe the lie, and I just moaned and groaned over the relationship I had with my daughter. Her dad raped her from the time she was a little girl, so there's a lot of complications in that relationship, folks. I'm very close to my son, who seems to be a crystal child. I'm an indigo. My mother was an indigo, but my daughter is not in that realm. And so the separation has been very painful for me, but I'm able to handle it, and maybe that's why. But love conquers all, And that's the only thing that we're here to do on this planet, folks, is learn to love. And this project that God has implanted in me, given to me, when the funds come and so forth, and the SARA is in place, and we have sovereignty and freedom and prosperity, and our health is returned to us, which it will be. I've been told many times by different white knights, different people, by spirit too. I have a project. I will be developing a place called Heavenly Valley, and over the great big wrought iron gate that I'm going to have constructed, in beautiful letters, I'm going to put "Love conquers all." And Heavenly Valley is going to be a very, very special place. If you ever hear of it in the future, I invite you to come and partake of what God has planted. And I love you all, and I thank you for this forum. I thank you guys for who you are, and girls, and God bless each and every one of you. I love you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I try to come back with that. I'll just have a little pregnant pause here. Yeah, it's. I mean, that's exactly what it's all about. And as hokey as it can sound some days, that it's amazing how far we've been taken away from that, and how much closer we've started to move towards it again. And I'm seeing it daily, literally by the minute. That's one of the reasons why I have such a hard time. I can't leave my computer. I've just got too many people I'm conversing with all day, every day. I've got to get a book put together for sending out Monday, which fortunately for me is effectively already written. This will be a preliminary. It'll be a collection of essays that's going to be going out through Swan. And I did mention to you, Carol, I gave you the numbers, and you can't call her, so I will make sure that she has your number to call you. And the sooner you can get online, if that is your intention, the better, and we can get you hooked in with literally tens of thousands of people very quickly. And on that note, I do want to do a quick shout out for Bolton Truth Advocates. Just getting a couple of messages here and there. Let me just go down. Alan, big shout out for you. And absolutely, and I'd like to get you guys as a group on the air some night, because that's what this is all about. I try to make a fair platform for as many people as possible, and that's what this platform is. This is your platform. It's not for grandstanding. You see, this is the thing, and that's with me. It's a very, very simple thing, and I used to come across it very often in my musical days. Hosting, songwriter cafes, original artists, and what have you. Spent many years volunteering that and creating a large arts community in the city that decided to rape me. And one of the things that the primordial rule was, it's a level stage. And I will tell you, I made very short work of anyone that wanted to grandstand, because it wasn't about that. It was about sharing the stage equally at the same level, that everyone has something to give regardless of station in life. And you'd mentioned, whether someone is got a physical capability or mental or whatever, or disability, whatever. Everyone has something to offer, and they have their own gift in their own quest, their own game to be here, because everything is perfect in the eyes of the Creator. As I like to always refer to Creator as Himself, Herself, Itself, the Divine Trinity of One, in which all things are contained, and that's what you are. And for those that are listening to me for the first time, or in the very, the last few days or a few weeks, I don't generally bring it up. A lot of people get kind of confused when they see my picture and they hear my voice. I'm a two-spirit, and it was something I always considered to be a curse throughout the first 4 decades of my life. Basically being in a prison, as it were. Hard to, it's like, who you are inside. I know who I am, and when I finally decided to show on the outside exactly what I am on the inside, nothing changed with me, nothing. The only thing that changed was other people's perspectives, and it was, and I don't think it wasn't that big of a shock to many of the people that knew me, but even so, it's definitely one of those things that makes you step two and go, hey, wait a minute, what's that all about? that's the thing, though. I've made you question things, and that is a blessing in and of itself. And I do want to do a shout-out as well for our guest that's coming on, one of our guests coming on tomorrow night. I just got to get back to my page here so I can read it out. We have Ed Kamarik coming on tomorrow night with Gary Hasseltine as well, and we're going to be talking about off-world UFOs and disclosure, imminent disclosure, all the stuff that's been hidden from us for so very long, the technologies. The thing that has been kept from us the most are the propulsion systems and the energy systems that have been hoarded and hidden away from humanity, so that those that want to rape Mother Earth and empty her bowels of oil, rip her veins of silver and gold out, and raise down all of her forests, to which that's our own detriment. Those are our lungs. That's the planet's lungs, and all for what? Profit. And that time is over now. It is over. So I just want to do a quick little background on Ed. He's got a book that is available for free, I think until Monday night. So please visit my Facebook page. If you're not in my contacts on Facebook, you can tag me at kate.rene.5. That's KATE.RENE.5. And another little bit of trivia, too, just to melt some more people's minds. For those of you that ever came across a video called Judge Bows to Sovereign, that was me. So I look a little different now. Anyway, here we go. Talk about disclosure, huh? Anyway, here we are. The UFO, this is from Ed. The UFO ET disclosure book, UFOs, Exopolitics, and the New World Disorder, will be free on Kindle, Amazon, April 13th, 14th, and 15th. He'll also be on Richard Dolan's show from 9 p.m. until 11 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time, right after our show, as well as on the 13th. So that will be, let me see, 9/11 Eastern Standard. Okay, well, this is the 13th, yeah, okay, well, it's the 14th for Santo and Tony now. But anyway, so that'll be tonight, right after our show. This is all part of his continuing modest effort to get as much credible disclosure-related material into public hands as possible. He can be easily contacted on Facebook, where he posts credible, up-to-date UFO ET-related material. He accepts all Facebook friendships. And by the way, just on a note on that, if someone sends you a friend request and you may not know them, click yes anyway, okay? Because that thwarts any Facebook attempts at blocking and whatever. And we've been running into a bit of that with some of our close associates, which is absolute nonsense. It's just a way of slowing us down. That's why anyone that contacts me, yeah, I know you. Of course I do. Might not be from this lifetime, but I know you. I've met you before. So carrying on here. We are up against a formidable adversary who has destroyed the positive vision of Star Trek for a new world Orwellian order. We cannot just sit on our hands. We have to become activists. He has over 4,000 copies of this disclosure book in public hands, with about 90% being free Kindles. Getting people to buy the print or Kindle book is like pulling teeth. So he settled upon using his 5 Kindle free promotion days every 3 months to distribute as many books as possible. He asked for no money, just that those that benefit from this book go to some trouble to copy and paste this message and link to other Facebook groups and walls so even more people can benefit. With a little help, about 3 weeks ago, he was able to get 369 free Kindles downloaded in just 2 days. So just think if others would be willing to help out. We together can do much better than this. And again, he'll be posting to his Facebook a lot of number of groups. I've already started posting this around, but again, just come to my Facebook page and it's there, or just contact me direct and I'll make sure you get the link. And I believe it's up until midnight Monday Eastern Standard Time that this book is available for free. So, guys, you can't you can't expect any better than that. You know, same thing with Tony. Tony's book, Blueprints of Cosmic Consciousness. It's been free since he put it out, and you can get that at awakeconsciousawareness.com and also at Syncrenicity.com. That's SYNCRENICITY.com for all things Tony, Santo, and myself. So please stop by there as well. That would be awesome. Breathing. Okay, there we go. Anybody?
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate it.
Well, hey, we got to get the word out, you know. And for a matter of fact, the book that I'm putting out Monday will be free as well. and that it's not. Yeah, and I got to tell you guys, it's not like we're rolling it. We're not. That's the point. We're actually quite the opposite. We have spent our lives fortunes to the zero and less. Many of us have had it stolen. In my case, about $1.3 to $1.5 million worth of my life gone because the City of Guelph Mayor Karen Farbridge and her cronies, Rob Davis, Phil Andrews, and a whole bunch of other malfeasant individuals think it's okay just to go around stealing people's houses just because they're trying to bring truth and light into a community that they had brought music, truth, and light for many years. Doesn't matter how good or how much you've brought to a city, world record even. I brought a world record to the City of Guelph, world's longest concert, 201 hours. 8.5 days solid of original music, and I can't remember now, but I think there was at least 18 or more hours of that was yours truly. And all done with original artists. There was, I think, 63 or 64 artists that were included in that 8.5 days, 24 hours a day. So anyway, there you go. Trying to think. And Santo, you want to talk about your upcoming film that you're doing, and where people? Well, I can announce it as well. BonacciTheFilm.com. It's BonacciTheFilm. BonacciTheFilm.com. So you can go there if you want to help out to make things a bit easier for Santo as well for the production of this. Again, this is. We're driving on fumes, and the fumes that we get. No idea. So, anyway, Santo, you want to talk about that for a bit?
You just cracked up in the middle of that.
Oh, well, of course, I was talking about BonacciTheFilm.com.
Yeah, thanks, Kate. Look, please, folks, send some good energy to that site, whatever you can, because syncretism is definitely the answer to all the woes that we've just been discussing. All of that you just mentioned, Kate and Carol. Prior to this, syncretism is the answer, syncing things rather than dividing things, and that's what we're going to get with this video. We all need it. It's all of us. It's all of our conscious awakening that will go into it. All of our insights, knowledge, and understanding to produce something that will be of benefit to everybody on every level on this planet. So please do that. Yes. And I've got a good team of guys there waiting in Ecuador. We talk regularly about how we're going to proceed with this film. We're all excited, and we will do our best to make a great film that you can share with anyone, even your churchgoer friends. Now, I want to read a couple of really nice quotes, since Carol was talking about the churches, and she was a Seventh-day Adventist. I was a Jehovah's Witness. We served time in the fiction. We did the time, and we did it willingly. I did, anyway, because I've always wanted to help people. Period. That's it. I wanted to save people. I was knocking on people's doors for 20 years. I was a regular pioneer for 5 years. Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses know what that means. I've served where the need is greater. It's Portuguese-speaking congregation for 4 years. Italian for 4 years. Spanish. I went to Central Australia to go to the Aborigines to help them. I went to Ernabella, Mimili, Freegon, all of these outback towns in Northern Territory. And I had to learn how to approach Aboriginals. I still speak many Aboriginal words that I learnt off them. So I picked up and travelled, with a trailer full of food and stuff just to go out and help Aboriginals, to save them. I've done all that. I've done the fiction. But rest assured, churchgoers, if you're still hanging in there with some church and you think there's some good there and there's good people going to church, the churches are designed to keep you in dunce land. No matter how you hear expressions, people saying, "Oh, but churches are good people if it works for them and it's their faith and their belief." It's beliefs that are killing us, and it's faith which is killing us. Emily Dixon said the famous words to Susan Dixon, her sister-in-law. She said, "Faith is doubt." What do we want faith for when we can know rather than believing? People are killing each other for their beliefs. William Wallace said, The God that you believe in and the God that I believe in may be different gods. However, the God that made you and the God that made me, they are the same God. Alfred Lloyd Tennyson, self-reverence, self-knowledge, self-control. These three alone lead to sovereign power. Of course the churches are going to tell you not to have reverence for yourself. You're just a piece of shit. You're a maggot. You're a worm. Grovel and drool and beg and supplicate. You remember Monty Python, the Holy Grail, and God's in the clouds, and he goes, "Stop groveling!" You know, and stop these horrible psalms and all of these, horrible prayers. For goodness sakes, just do your stuff. But self-reverence, self-knowledge, would that be noscete ipsum, self-knowledge?
Yeah.
Know thyself?
Yeah, noscete ipsum.
Mm-hmm. Self-control. Haven't we been talking about moderation and self-control and discipline to raise the oil? How about that? That's Lord Tennyson, yeah? Self-reverence, self-knowledge, self-control. And then Walt Whitman. And nothing, not God, is greater to one than oneself. Nothing. Not God. Nothing. That's nothing. No thing is greater to one than oneself. And so, with these three beautiful quotes by very, very, very wise men from the past, and women, we have the secret. We have everything that we need. Churches are there to tell you that there's no need to have reverence for anything other than just God outside of you, and you're no good. And don't get to know who you are, and astrology won't serve you. That's from the devil. But if you get sick, you can go to the doctor and get a treatment. It's amazing. Rest assured that those churches are definitely supporting the corporate big pharma. Rest assured that they're not helping people with herbal remedies. And I know the Seventh-day Adventists are good with health, and I know the Jehovah's Witnesses are good too. There's a lot of naturopaths and homeopaths that belong to these organisations. They're not all bad. You know what I mean? These are our brothers, but they are in dunce land and they have been dumbed down. And the only good thing for them to do is to get the hell out of those churches. You can still continue on being a Christian if you so want to be. You don't have to belong to a church, because that will make you hate other Christians, and it will cause you to be disunited in Christian land. And what a mockery Christian land is. At least the Muslims have only got, one or two sects that they're fighting about. Not hundreds and thousands like the so-called Christians. It's a mockery. They're making a mockery out of the Christian Hermetic teachings. They're poo-pooing them. They're pathetic. And Jesus, in Matthew 7:21 says, "Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, didn't we prophesy in your name and expel demons in your name and perform many wonderful works in your name? And yet I will say to them in that day, get away from me, you workers of lawlessness. I never knew you. By their fruits you will recognize them." Oh yeah, what Carol said before, that churchgoers are vicious. They will, if they had... if they could still run around with Bibles in their left hand and sharpened swords in their right hand, they still would. Rest assured.
Yeah, I was going to say, my grandfather, one of the most important lessons I ever learned, I was 11 years old, and he told me, he says, the two most dangerous types of people in this world are those carrying guns and those carrying Bibles. Be wary of each. The ones carrying Bibles are more dangerous.
Absolutely. You've got no idea how dangerous I was for 20 years, knocking on people's doors, disturbing them with my truth and opinions.
Exactly.
Oh, you're dangerous, giving people pathetic advice, like join this organisation, which is funded by the Rockefellers, and they have open checkbooks to Chase Manhattan and Morgan Bank, and they protect pedophiles. Just go to silentlambs.org. And they own 51 shares in Rand Can, which is a company that makes and they were NGOs between 1991 and 2001. For 10 years, they were NGO of the UN. Would that be the UN, the satanic mind control organization that's hooked up with the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all the big banks and all the killers and pedophiles and churches? And would that be the UN that goes around vaccinating people to put thimerosal in them and destroy their nervous systems? And is that all those UN peacekeepers that go around disturbing and dividing nations and making sure that they have instability that the Jehovah's Witnesses were hooked up with? And it was only until they were exposed on the internet, because the internet came to save us, to expose these creeps, did the Jehovah's Witnesses pull out and then publish in 2001 in the Watchtower magazine, well, we just were NGOs because you need to be an NGO if you want to have access to the UN library. And because we are so studious here at the governing body of the Jehovah's Witness pedophiles, we want to get into that library, we decided that we would have to sign up with Satan. But now we're not. Oh, we're clean now. And don't go listening to those sites that talk about Randcam Corporation and all those devices they make for the military-industrial complex. That's because people are trying to... That's Satan trying to attack us and trying to derail this Jehovah's organization. Don't you listen to those websites. That's from the devil.
Mars and Leo, baby. Mars and Leo. Let her rip.
Yeah.
God,
well,
I love him. Thank you, Santos. I love you, baby.
Yeah, well, I just described how dangerous I was. So the listeners ought to be thankful, whether you like my personality or not. Or it's got nothing to do with that. It's what I'm saying. All of us who have awoken and gotten out of this fiction, the corporate fiction, including the churches, we need to support these people. We need to help them and send them good love and energy, because it's we, the conscious, that will change these things. I was dangerous once upon a time. You ought to be so thankful that now I know the truth, not I think I know, and go around like a parrot repeating all of the pedophile governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses rubbish that came from them. So let's rejoice in this, folks, what we have found. Let's rejoice and spread the word and relentlessly from the rooftops without tiring.
Absolutely. And Pamela. Hello, Pamela. She must have her mic muted. Okay, because I've had her mic open for quite a while now. I was just going to start going down the calls here, so we've got like 34 minutes left. This has been great, guys. Honestly, it's just been powerhousing out the truth. Yeah. So I'm just going to start going down some callers here, and yeah, let's keep it rolling here, guys. I'm just going to open up some lines and get some people talking. Again, be mindful of others. Okay, area code 914. 77, first two numbers, area code 91477. Questions or comments?
Yes. Hey, you guys hear me?
Oh, loud and clear. How are you doing? Who we got?
Good. My name, well, what I go by is Augustus Guido.
There we go. And he says it right. You're customarily called Augustus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my call.
Excellent.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you. I've been listening to you guys for like the last 6 months, non-stop, every day, and I can't even put into words, to be honest, like what I feel, like the way you guys liberated me in all ways. I just want to say thank you, and I just want to say, Kate, thank you. Literally, you make the allegorical sense so like clear for me to see, and like Santos from the above that you brought down, and I just can't even put into words. I just wanted to get on and call, put my voice out there and say thank you so much.
Thank you. You know, that's the whole thing about love, my friend, because without you, here's how I balance it out. Without you, I have no purpose. So thank you. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's a mirror.
Yeah, it's a mirror. It's a perfect mirror. And this is the one thing I've been, like I said earlier, I've been cursed and blessed at the same time. I was literally born on the other side of the mirror, and only now am I able to start seeing the reflections clearly. And it's, I can't even begin to tell everyone that I come into contact with every day just how magnificently beautiful you are. You know why? Because I get to see me for the first time. It's cool. Thank you.
It's so cool.
And that's
I
what
was
it's about.
wondering if... Oh, okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was wondering if Santos could do a reading for me, because I've been following all the readings, and I think my chart is, I don't know, I can't really wrap my head around it, because it's kind of difficult.
Well, it's going to be up to Santo.
To do that.
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna ask right now is, if we could do a brief one, that'd be great, because there are other callers in here. I want to try to get down everybody. We'll probably roll past the hour anyway, so if you wanted to hang on, just so I can get people that need to get on the air, like tonight, get that first, Augustus, and then I can bring you back on. Is that okay with you, Santo?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, is that cool, Augustus?
Yeah, that's totally cool.
Okay, well then I'll put you back on hold on this end, and then just let me go through the other callers. You know, it's an equal forum for everybody, right? And then
sure.
and then we'll come back, and absolutely, okay.
All right, cool.
All right, so hang tight, and we'll get back to you. I love that. Okay, that's awesome. Area code 810-33, first two numbers. Area code 810. Questions or comments? Okay, that one, listener. All right, area code 252, first two numbers, 70. Area code 25270. Questions or comments? Okay, listening only. All right, area code 66174. It's Rob, isn't it? Okay. Rob, is that you? Okay, that's just a little messed up for feedback, so we'll leave that. I've got two of the same number here, so I don't know what's happening there. Okay, area code. Wow, lots of callers. Most of these guys came in right at the beginning. Area code 817-49. First two numbers, 817-49.
Yes, Kate. This is Chuck.
Chuck, how are you?
I'm really enjoying your call again this evening, and I want everybody to know that I met Carol a little bit less than 2 years ago, and I think that it was the best thing that had ever happened to me up to that point in my life. She's a wonderful person, and I found her chart to be very interesting, as I'm sure she did. But anyway, you guys are great. I just love your call, and I love all the people that I have heard open their mouth on this call.
I think that silenced all of us. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if we've got Kate there still. It sounds like we might have some trouble there. Santos, are you with us? Okay, well, until we hear back, I'll grab the reins and run with this. Yeah, we do try and get you the information that actually makes sense and is as close as we can get to the truth. It's not, not all of it's nice and not all of it's clever, but it is what it is. Whether you believe, again, as Kate said, believing doesn't require the truth to be the truth. It either is or it isn't. Some wonderful information coming across. Kate and Santo, if you get back onto this call, if you just let us know, and then I'll, sit back down, as it were. But are there any more questions out there from anybody? Nope. Okay. I'm just going to shoot back over to the chat room there just to see. Can you hear me in the chat room there, guys? A little bit of confirmation to make sure that I think is going on. Okay, yes you can. Beautiful. Well, as I say, hopefully we'll have Kate and Santos back in on the call at the moment shortly. But yeah, we've been lining up. I'll just give you a little bit of information what we've been doing. We've got a breaking story that's just gone out over Syncrenicity on the front page. This is all about basically Margaret Thatcher's death and the links between the Queen's pending resignation and a load of armaments that were sold. And it links in with the Blackfriars Bridge hanging and lots of other things. But what's happening is people are breaking ranks. This information is from somebody inside of the Intel organisations. Let's just say that. I believe it was MI6 that was put forward for this one. But right on the front page, it's extremely exciting stuff. I mean, we broke the 7/7 news a couple of days ago. Now breaking this one as well. There's some serious information that's coming out here, and it's good because it needs to come out. The only way we can deal with this is understand what's going on, who's behind it, who's doing it, and how it's all happening. And the only way we can do that is by looking at it and looking into it. So, yeah, there's some good information coming out on there. Also, guys, if any of you guys are listening and want to link to friend me on Facebook, please do. I've been banned from friending yet again, so... You've got to laugh. But, yeah, for anybody who wants to friend me, the name or the corporate ID used to be, well, I mean, basically, the surname, I sent the birth certificate back.
Oh, I just spit it out, Tony. We're back. We got bumped off the board.
Yeah, I know we did.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I took the handlebars.
I know, it's great. It's the only time you talk.
Yeah, well, you're doing such a great job, you see. I don't want to interrupt you, you know?
No, I just talk too much. Anyway, carry on. Tony, is it Tony.Kilvert.85?
.98, very clever.
.98, okay.
Yeah, very close.
So, Tony.Kilvert, Kilvert, .98.
Yes.
That was just for me so I can remember it. Anyway, so we got Santo back here too, so we're kind of hanging out there in limbo land. But Chuck did get his comment across, yes?
Absolutely. Yes, I just wanted to make sure that my friend Carol heard that I believe I met her about 2 years ago. And up to that point in my life, I think that's the luckiest day of my life when I met Carol. She has meant so much to me and our entire World Light Workers family, and I recognized the person that Santo was describing right away. But I'm sure that she found the reading quite interesting, as I did. She's a wonderful person. But the many uses of the term bull, man, she can be firm. But she'll turn right around the next moment and turns on the love. She's quite a person. So that's my Carol.
The Thundering Velvet Hand, one of my favorite terms from Dan Fogelberg, leader of the band. So I guess that makes her leader of the band too. So it's great. You know, I couldn't agree more, and I've only just got to meet Carol in the last little while. But that's the thing with me. I only need about 30 seconds to pretty much sum up what I need to know about anybody and what shields I need to have up or what shields I need to drop. It's beautiful. No shields needed with her. It's awesome. So there. All right, I guess no one else is talking. I'm the only one talking again? Oh.
It's all right. I just passed you the reins and look, you've gone all quiet.
Oh, okay. No, I just... Anyway, we'll carry on down the board here. I'll mute you off there, Chuck, but thank you so much for chiming in again, my friend, and it was great to have you tonight and last night again, so make it a regular thing, and I'll start recognizing your number.
I just love your call. Just love it.
All right. Well, that's and we love having you. We love having everybody. So, on that note, I'll mute you out, and then we're going to see if anybody else wants to chime in tonight. And I've got one other that I know is going to be coming in, and I've got a couple more ahead of that. So here we go. Area code 33770. Area code 33770. Questions or comments? Okay, just listening. All right, let's go to area code 215. First two numbers, 86. 215-86. Your mic is open. Questions or comments? I guess not. All right, and we have area code 715-90. There we go. I can hear somebody. 715-90. Questions or comments?
Nope, just listening in.
Well, who we got?
This is Leah.
Hi, Leah. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. I always follow you or Santos, so thank you.
No worries. That's why we like to hear from people. You know, that gives us some sense of feedback that we're actually getting stuff right and, you know, sharing the right stuff, you know?
Yep, I listen, and I'll catch you on the archives if I don't, so keep it up.
Okay,
I love to hear
Leah.
whatever you have to say. Okay, thanks.
All right, Leah, thanks. Beautiful. That's what we need to hear. You know, we need to know that we're getting the points across and people are getting the right information. And you know, this is the thing in communication. We get to check our own balance. You know, to make sure that that you know what resonates with you is resonating with us, and that's how truth works. Like Mark, I go back to Mark again. Truth doesn't require your belief. You just need to follow your heart, and it works. So area code 513-310. Area code 513-310. Any questions or comments?
You hear me okay?
I hear you just peachy.
Well, that's great. This is Tugboat Harry. I heard Chuck there. Hello, Chuck. Talking about Miss Carol, and boy, I tell you what, he said a mouthful there. That woman is a wonderful woman. She will put information out, and if it's bull crap, she'll tell you it's bull crap, and if it's the truth, she'll tell you the truth, and it resonates with you that she is telling you the truth. She's an amazing woman, and the call is amazing, and she's the reason I'm on your call. God bless her. And she said, well, Harry, they talk like sailors on there sometimes. I said, well, like a riverboat captain really needs to work with that. So
yeah, that's me. You know, Santo and Tony are really tame compared to me. I turn into psycho bitch some nights, so it's all good.
that's well, you know, that's we express ourselves. I remember one night I was on one call and I used the word BS and I got ran across the coals for doing that, and they completely missed the point I was trying to say out because I said BS, and I just said, okay, well that's okay. Some people got it, some people don't, and that's what I like about all these shows and programs that are out there. It's like you just said. If it resonates with you, great. You were supposed to hear it. It's for you. If it doesn't, great. Enjoy it.
Exactly. And I was going to say, and for the listeners there, what Tugboat had said there, BS, that stands for bullshit. So I just want to make sure people understand what that is. So there you go.
Okay.
That's a little tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I tell some people it means just to stop and breathe slow also.
That works too, actually. That's a good one. Breathe slow. Big stick? Yeah, breathe slow, big stick.
Well, thank you.
No worries. Did you want to say hi to Chuck? I opened his line.
Oh, hey, Chuck. How you doing, buddy?
Very good, Harry. You're telling it like it is. I love it.
Yeah. Well, that's
Harry's habit. He tells it like it is. Great guy.
There you go. See? It's all about connecting in this planet, guys. All about connecting. So, Carol, do you have any comments since you got these two hot guys talking really nice about you?
I'm sitting here almost crying, you guys. Thank you very much. I don't get a lot of good feedback. I hear a lot of, things when people aren't happy. But as you well know, Kate, you don't get the good blessings flowing very often. But I'll tell you what, I think the frequencies are changing, and it's to come in on us all the many years that we've been doing what we're doing. And Chuck and Tugboat, I love you guys very much, and I'm awfully happy you found our call and we found you. Thank you, Kate. God bless you, dear.
Oh, I love you. I love you, Carol.
Love you too, Carol.
You guys are precious.
There you go.
Love conquers all, everybody. It's starting to show up more and more, and bless us all, one and all, everybody. I don't care what your belief is, even if you're an agnostic or an atheist. I love you just the same.
Exactly. I have a little saying that I all too often I used to find people that would hide behind things like religion or race or creed, color, gender, whatever. And I just made it very simple for myself. I got 2 questions I ask myself only, no one else. Is that something I would do or something I wouldn't do? That pretty much sums it up for me. And anytime I come across someone where they, not necessarily, let's just say not necessarily the friendliest types of people or whatever, my saying's very simple. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what creed you are. I don't care what race, color, gender, sexual orientation. Bottom line is this: if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. So stop using that as your crutch and just face it. And that's how I deal with people. I have a heart of gold, and I will give this shirt off my back. But the minute someone turns around and tries to take it from me, that's when you get to meet the Leo Ascendant. And I'm Irish too, so that doesn't help.
So that's what spurs me on sometimes when I rant like I do. My Leo Ascendant, eh?
Oh, that's the will, the heart, the power, and I know Santa will chime in on that one again for sure.
We 3 got to get together one of these days and rant.
Oh, absolutely. I'm game any night of the week. You know that. So, and kind of one of the things, that's why when I was talking to you earlier this week, the open forum I thought would be the better place for you to be able to come on and speak freely. And I know you have people that listen to you, and you need to know that you have an open door here. Everyone does. I just need you to know that. So,
well, Harry and I have been bashed a lot on some of the other conference calls, and so I've just made it a point not to go on anybody's call but mine. But when I found your call, oh my gosh, I felt loved and welcome, and yeah. I try not to talk too much because I have, I've got my Mercury is conjunct with my Sun, which means I rattle too much, and I know that, so I have to be careful not to take over on your call.
No, it happens, I mean, we've had a few guests that I don't even know if they took a breath when they come on. It's like, okay, and I need to see your chart. I need
Thank you very much, everybody. That's wonderful.
It's beautiful. Thank you, guys. So I'll meet you both back out again. Not that I don't want to hear from you. It's just that way you don't have to worry about coughing or farting. It makes it a lot easier and more sociable radio. All right, just gonna get to find Chuck's here. All right, oh, my pleasure, and we're going to talk again many times. I know that for sure. Okay, we got area code 916. Holy smokes, guys! Where are we here? 91656. 91656. Your mic is open, and questions or comments. 916-568. Okay, and I got one here. Holy smokes! Yeah, this board keeps flipping around on me. I have to keep checking the times for who's been on the longest waiting. Right, because like I said, we had about 6 or 7 calls before I even got on the air tonight. Okay, that one already checked, and just checking back up time slot. And okay, get into the Skypes now. And where are we? Come here. Okay, here it is. And Karen, your mic is hot. Hello, Karen. Hello. Okay. Not sure what's going on there. Mic is hot for Karen. Okay, put that back. All right. I'll come back to Karen because I know she did want to get on tonight. Right. Well, let's get to, we might as well go to Augustus here and do a little chart. You up for it, Santo?
Yep, sure am.
Rock and roll. Augustus, you are on the slaughter table. Give us your laundry. Yeah, give us your laundry.
All right. February 23rd, 1990. Bronxville.
Yep. How do you spell that?
Bronxville. BRONXVILLE.
Yeah. New York?
And 10, New York. If there's going to be
Yeah.
two, it's going to say Heights and Bronxville. It's just the Bronxville one.
Yeah, Westchester.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere near the kitchen down there, brother?
The kitchen? Oh, no.
A little further across, huh?
Yeah.
All right,
and,
time?
10 at night.
So 10 p.m. Is that the exact time?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, 23rd of February. Wow. Yeah, I've got a few relatives that have got, I know a lot of people on that date. Alrighty. Wow. All right. So, ascendant in Libra.
Yeah, 29th degree.
I've got 27th degree.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So you got the exact time, yeah?
Yeah, that's the exact time.
Well, let's go with that. So, Sun in Pisces, of course. Moon in Aquarius. Nocturnal. Am I still on? Because I feel like I've been dropped off.
No, we're still going. We're good.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So it's a nocturnal chart. Let's have a look at the ruler of your chart, I guess. Start from there. Well, I always like to start at different places. Ruler of the chart. And let's go through the 5 different ways of finding the ruler. First of all, with the moon. Your moon is in Aquarius. Therefore, next sign after that is Pisces. The ruler of Pisces will be the ruler of your chart. And guess who that is? Good old Jupiter. My ruler is Jupiter too. So, now, good thing about you is your Jupiter is in Cancer. 4 points. Exaltation. Lucky boy. You've also got Mars in Capricorn, 4 points, exaltation, very, very nice. So there's a couple of essential dignities. You've got one more. You've got Saturn in Capricorn. That's a domicile, 5 points. So there you go. You're on 13 points just in essential dignities, which is fabulous, just fabulous. The Mars, Moon, and Venus are going to love your chart. So your Mars and Saturn are going to be very, very happy in Capricorn. Both of those malefics love Capricorn. One exalts and one rules there. Just goes to show you, how Capricorn is considered in this science. It really is the only house, the only sign in the chart, in the zodiac that accepts 2 malefics with great hospitality, and they both score 9 points together in Capricorn. It never happens in any other chart, in any other sign, right? So there's a lot of essential dignities there. You need to just look at that and meditate on that and appreciate that. So Jupiter is not only exalting in Cancer, so your 4 big boys, the 4 outer planets, the 3 outer planets, you could say, because they're outside of the rings of the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, they are all in favourable, strengthened houses. Very strong for you. Your Moon and Mercury are conjunct. Really good for your intuition, really good for your spirituality, that. Can have its challenges, though, but it's pretty good. Just like the Mercury-Sun conjunction for Carol, the communicative and expression planet. So we found Jupiter as the ruler by the Moon. We also have to look at the terms that the Moon is in, because this is a nocturnal chart. So the Moon rules your chart, not the Sun. When the Sun is below the horizon, Moon takes over. Moon is the boss. So We need to look at her terms, the terms in which she is found, which will reveal another ruler, another planet that will be vying for rulership. Because remember this, people. You may be Scorpio, you may be Leo, you may be Libra and all of these things, but you must identify the ruler of your chart. Because if you're let's say you're a Taurian and they are noted for Venus, and they are noted for the beautiful moon and Venus. Moon exalts in Taurus, Venus domicile in Taurus. So these beautiful, sexy girls in the sign of the throat and the mouth and speech and the cerebellum, the bell brain that is beautiful. Oh, how beautiful Taurus is. The women of Taurus, every man wants one. You know what I mean? If you had a harem, you want at least one Taurian wife, right? Because she's got all of those beautiful things that men are looking for, the feminine, beautiful love and wisdom, Venus and the moon and intuition. Now, so let's have a look at the terms of the moon in the 19th degree of Aquarius. That belongs to, guess who? Venus. So this is great. So already the moon is telling you in two places that one of her choices for rulership is Jupiter, and the second one is Venus. So love and justice. I like to call Jupiter just because he is the greater benefic. So you've got two of the benefics ruling your chart. So you are a Piscean, and the sun in Pisces is happy because he also emphasizes Jupiter, because Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. So Jupiter is so strong in your chart, really, really strong. And in fact, the sun is trining with Jupiter in Cancer. Remember I said trines are harmonious because usually they trine between the elements. A trine will always be water to water, air to air, fire to fire. Usually, 90% of the time. Depends on the degree. But here in this case, the sun in Pisces is trining with Jupiter in Cancer. Wow. Wow, Jupiter is so important to you. And he is in the 9th house. Spirituality, again, just like Carol. But let's continue to find more rulers. Your ascendant is in Venus, which indicates then in Libra, which indicates that Venus is the ruler. So there's 2 points for Venus, 1 for Jupiter. Now we need to find the most dignified planet in your chart. To be honest, I think it's Mars. I'll have to give it to Mars because it's a night chart, and even though Jupiter and Saturn are exalting and in domicile, I think Mars with the exaltation in Capricorn is stronger, simply because Saturn is in a night chart, doesn't like night. But let me just read what he portends in the 3rd house in a night chart. Hey,
Santo, before you read, we're 3.5 minutes left here. I just want to get the shout-outs done for Critical Mass Radio. So you've got your page marked, and just want to say a big shout-out to criticalmassradio.co.uk, our sister station. Of course, Paul, Lisa, and the crew at Critical Mass Radio. .co.uk that makes our platform possible every night of the week, 7 nights. Mondays I use only if we're running late with QL television, which is great. I can book an hour and get on the air as well. But 7 nights a week provided for us by Critical Mass Radio. Thank you guys so much. Much love for that. And we're going to roll into recording. So there was something else someone had asked me. Just make a mental note. There was a date you had talked about in April. That actually, I'll go right back to it, and I don't want to distract you, but where was it? Wrong room. Oh, man, you would not believe. Oh, here we go. Santo said on another show, a date coming in April of another pouring out of the Spirit. Can you please repeat that date? And so we'll do that right after we're finished with Augustus here. So carry on. We're rolling past the clock here, and thank you, CMR.
Okay. Now, the most dignified planet in your chart is, without a doubt, Mars. Simply because of his accidental placement, not his essential placement. Essentially, he's got 4 points. He's exalting in Capricorn. It's a night chart. It's the nocturnal sect. So in the 3rd house, he makes the native famous and successful and blah, 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 blah. It's just magnificent. So got to give it to Mars. So there's another planet seeking rulership. So you've already got 3. 2 points for Venus, 1 point for Jupiter, 1 point for Mars. Now, the closest planet to your Sun is Mercury, so he also needs to get a point. Now, I did a chart last night where I discovered that the native, a friend of mine, also has 4 rulers vying for rulership, 4 planets. And I've never witnessed that before. Usually you can find a ruler or a ruler and a co-ruler. But definitely here you have 4. Venus is the ruler of your chart, and then Jupiter comes next, and then you've got Mars and Mercury also in the mix. So it's a big spread of rulership. I don't know that it's practical to have, this kind of spread of rulers, but I'd stick with Jupiter and Venus for sure as the ruler and co-ruler. Stick with those 2, but know that Mars and Mercury also, score highly, and they also come into the mix. Your North Node is in Aquarius. Great time for you to plan things when the Moon is in Aquarius, the humanitarian. I could look at all of these other combinations. I mean, 5 planets in Capricorn, wow, that's earthy. Sun in Pisces. Your metabolism's going to be slow, brother. You're going to have a slow metabolism. You've got, you've got 8 planets in feminine signs, water and earth. And most of them, 9 of them are below the horizon in the cold. There's only Jupiter up above the horizon. He's not going to do it alone to warm up your metabolism. So your metabolism is definitely slow, and you need to, keep it, push it along. Won't be a problem. You don't have anything in the 6th house badly aspecting, nothing in the 2nd. You've got nothing in the malefic houses. No planets in 6, 12, 8, and 2, which is exactly what Firmicus says, wish and pray and hope that the native or the querent, it does not have any planets at all, period, in those houses, because it complicates things, and there's naughty things in those signs. Sorry, in those houses. Excuse me. So yeah, that's the metabolism. You're going to need to, really stir that up, and this is why I said before that churchgoers are dangerous, because they will condemn something they know nothing about. And a lot of these parents that go to church and condemn astrology, they've got children, for instance, just a small example here, who may be suffering with asthma, right? And they could easily consult their child's chart and find that Saturn is in Gemini, squaring with, say, the Moon in Virgo. And, well, if that is not a very mercurial square and 2 malefics in those signs, you're gonna probably have a problem with your breathing if your malefics are in Gemini or Virgo, And so the parents could easily then know this and set about helping their children instead of rushing off to the doctors, and the doctors are going to some sort of a spray or whatever to temporarily deal with the symptoms, but not cure it. And whereas astrology has the cures. So this is why they are dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Now, what else were we doing here? We were looking at the North Node. We established that it's in Aquarius, the second part of Aquarius too. What else? Any questions there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Augustine.
What, like, Pluto in the first house is, like, I know the first house deals with me, like, my body and everything. So what is, like, I'm a little thrown off by that.
Okay. Well, the first house tells you the sign on the cusp, which is Libra, tells you how you go about your business and about your body, about the physical part of you, and your life and the strength of your life. The lords of that sign, that will be Mercury, air will be ruled by Mercury, Saturn, and Jupiter. So you need to look at their health to find out the health of your body, and of course, well, let me just check that right now, shall we? Libra. We'll get to Pluto in a minute. I've got Pluto in the first house, and yours is in Scorpio, the anaphora, or the second house, the second sign in that the first house. So, and I also have this. It's very destructive, but with transformation for its purpose. Now, Pluto is also domiciled in Scorpio, so there's another planet I missed. That. Pluto rules Scorpio, so you have another domicile apart from Saturn in Capricorn. So, good placement for Pluto, but retrograding. Repeat lesson. So, what's going on is you do have destructive, and believe you me, you will be destructive in many, many things. I have Pluto in the first house with Uranus. Uranus is stronger because he is above Pluto, closer to the ascendant, but Pluto is also there. Causes you to be always destroying things to transform them. So there's a lot of change going on in your life. You've got to keep a pace with it. Transformation is what you're about. That's what you're doing. You're transforming intensely. Scorpio in the first house. Wow, intense emotions. So this is an intense program of transformation that you're on. Now, Libra, the lords of Libra by night, you have a night chart, are Mercury first, Saturn in the middle, and Jupiter lastly. So all of those planets, I can tell you, are very, very healthy. You're going to have a strong body, strong health. Health will not be a concern. You have nothing in the sixth house. You do have some, I could do your medical here, but it's probably not even worth it because, I don't read from your chart that you need to be concerned with your health. I can tell immediately in the first 10 seconds if health is going to be an issue. What I see here in this chart of yours is, please serve humanity and pursue humanitarian concerns and spiritual concerns. That's dead obvious by your chart. But Libra on the ascendant, let's have a read that from Firmicus. Libra on the ascendant. All right, there's a lot of negatives too with Libra on the ascendant. So brace yourself, because this is where the negative stuff comes through. So you've got to take this. You see, this is your diamond that needs polishing. So you need to know this. The ascendant of Libra, page 159.
Okay.
The ascendant in Libra. I'll wait for you to get that.
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Page 159.
159.
By the way, if any of the listeners want to follow along with my readings, I use Firmicus a lot. Get on the computer. You can download the whole book free, and you can follow along. Have it open every time I'm on air because I'll be reading from it. Mathesios, Firmicus Maternus. Okay, Mathesios.
Okay, yeah, I'm on it.
Okay, so The ascendant in Libra predicts sickness and dangerous involvements. A crowd of enemies will always be ready to attack, because they don't like the just sign. They don't like to see your balanced Libran Venetian qualities glowing in your ascendant. Remember, the ascendant sign is the thing they see first. Like Carol, they see the feline, the lion, before they get to know the Scorpio nature, the intense emotions lying behind the fiery feline that wants, that demands attention, whether you want it or not. So Libra demands that, people who are not interested in justice and fairness and balance, they're going to be around ready to attack you, right? So you can intuit the whole chart just if you are intuitive. You don't need to go to astrologers to read the understanding and what it means. You can intuit this as long as you have the fundamental skills. You don't even need the ascendant. There are people out there that are doing astrology like Magi astrology, and they're doing all kinds of astrology. You've got sidereal astrology and Nostradamus astrology. They don't bother with the ascendant. I am, because this is the school of Hermes from Egypt that we're on. We are doing Western tropical astrology, and it's not discounting or saying that it's superior than the other astrologies, but it's because they will lean more towards right brain or left brain, depending on the school. So, but I'm encouraging people to also intuit this stuff. Of course, Libra on the ascendant is going to reflect in your nature that you are balanced and fair and Venetian and just and all of those Libran things. So, you will have enemies in this world, The native will be devout, a worshipper of the gods, of course, because Venus is the ruler of Libra, and Mercury and Venus are the primary planets for wisdom and gods. But the life will be varied. He will, however, be unconquered, seem inferior to none, and be famous. Now, of course, don't take any of this in isolation. It doesn't mean, oh, well, where's my fame? I'm not in Hollywood. I don't. No one knows my name. Or don't discount what you read. But fame. It might be fame in your family, at school, at work. People on the block. They all know you. They all wave to you because you've got a Libra ascendant. So, place these readings in the right context, because then there's other things in the chart that will modify this. You might find something in the chart that will destroy the fame altogether. But the house of children will be ambivalent for him. Some of his children will not survive. His judgment will always be correct, and he will be a servant of heavenly rights. There you go. We can stop right there. There's all the good, positive stuff. We can dig around and find some negative stuff for sure, but I'm hunching that your chart is really, really strong. Notice that your sun is on the cusp of the 5th and the 4th house. Do a reading for both houses, and probably I would put your sun in the 5th house rather than the 4th. But anyway, that's up to you.
You were talking about how the sun in the 5th house is magnificent. Really, he loves it,
exactly.
Doesn't he?
Exactly, but the sun in the 5th house alone is not favourable to your children. It's favourable to you. But I've already noticed two things, that your Libra ascendant and your sun in the 5th house, which indicate you probably don't want to have a lot of children. Okay, and but that doesn't mean you can't. You see, understand this. You have to now. These dynamics are in your chart, so now you have to. When you have children, you have to be aware of this. Now, let's have a look at what it means, the sun in the 5th, okay?
Yeah.
So, Sun in the 5th. Those who have the Sun in the 5th house are agreeable and successful and win all their desires largely through the help of friends. If Venus is in conjunction, no, she's not, with the Sun in this house or in sextile aspect, the native will win prizes, gain consular rank, and be honoured by the people. Malefic planets together with the Sun in this house are not able to exercise their malevolence because of the natural benevolence of this house. So if you had Saturn in there, Saturn would not be able to destroy the good of the Sun in that house because the house is good. The 5th house, you do want planets in your 5th and 11th houses, apart from the angles. Once you get through the 4 angles, the ascendant, the MC, the descendant, and the IMC, then look to the 11th and the 5th, because these are friendly, the most friendly of signs apart from the angular signs. These are the best of the succedent signs. It is, however, harm for children. If the Sun is alone in this house, the good fortune is less, and there will be harm to children, and much grief over accidents and deaths of offspring. Now, so, you need to mitigate that. You need to work with that energy. Your Sun is receiving a trine and a sextile, so it's a very, very happy Sun, very prosperous Sun in Pisces, because the ruler is happy, Jupiter. And you want Jupiter to be happy because he's the ruler of air, which is your ascendant Libra, and who is your last part of your day's ruler. So you can rest assured in your old age you're going to have Jupiter there looking after your back. He's going to be good. I've got Saturn to look forward to, and he's not very happy in the 6th house receiving a square. So I know that although I've cheated my Saturn in the 6th house placement and I haven't been sickly, as I should have, and Mars in the 12th, which also predicts accidents, I've had plenty of those. But sickness, I don't know how I've escaped it. I've been very careful because my first 2 rulers are strong, the Sun and Jupiter. That my Sun is glorious in my chart and Jupiter is absolutely glorious. But Saturn, even though he's in Aquarius and he is exalting, he's in domicile, he's receiving a square and he's in the 6th house. So I know my health will deteriorate after 56, 57. When I start to hand over from Jupiter's rulership, to the Sun. So we need to look at your Saturn and your Mercury. They're pretty good. So you're pretty strong. Physically, you don't need to worry, really. But know that the Sun alone in the 5th house is not friendly to children. It's the house of children and pleasure. Pleasure-wise, yeah, it's going to be great. But see, then again, I need to do further research. What I need to do is this. I need to find, whatever house you're in, listeners, find the element that is in there. Now, yours is Pisces, so the element is water. So we need to look at the lords of water by night, because you've got a night chart. And the lords of water by night in Pisces, from the Pisces, is Mars first, then Venus, then the Moon. So Mars, absolutely a conquering warrior. Mars in your chart in the third house, which makes the natives famous and soldiers and magnificent in Capricorn, the sign of exaltation. Absolutely, the first part of your life was martial, and you got what you wanted as much as you could, as much as your chart will allow you. Next rulership goes to Venus. Venus in the 3rd house by night. Let's see if she is strengthened or not. Page 194, brother.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Venus in the 3rd house is favourable. If Jupiter is in any aspect, no, he's not. She predicts a wife from a temple, a priestess or a daughter of priest, If Mercury is with Venus, no, it's not. Okay, that's all we need. So your Venus is also good. Notice that Venus is not aspecting with other planets, just like we had with Carol. One of her planets was not aspecting, and I think it was Venus too. So Venus is, this is telling you that perhaps your love is pulled away from your brothers and sisters. Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, there's a certain aloofness there on your part or on their part, and a sort of a detachment. Sorry?
My part.
Yeah, well, look, you've got a lot of stuff going on in the third house anyway. You've got 5 planets there, for goodness sakes. But the point is, the ruler of water, where your sun is in the 5th house, are Mars first, Venus next. Now, the moon is okay in the 4th house too, receiving a square. So the reason I'm going through this with you is that there are always 3 things to contemplate in every house, not just one. Now, I've mentioned that the 5th house deals with pleasure and children, but that's not all. There's more. There's another one thing to consider, minimally, at least. Pleasure, children, and love affairs, clothes, joy, sport, gifts, gambling. All of those things happen there. But if you really want to find out about children because you want to have a family, and you already know that the sun in the 5th house is going to be detrimental to your children, well, then we do some more work to find out whether it truly is going to be detrimental to your children and how severely, or whether it's going to be more detrimental to your pleasure and to the other things that are concerned with that sign, going by Mars, Venus, and the Moon, the rulers of water by night, and their health and their degrees that they are in. And so, yeah, there's a lot more work to do, okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean that you take that in isolation, that reading, and just out and out, you can't have children. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, leave it at that. That should be enough.
Wow, thank you so much for all of that.
Yeah, it's a pretty handy guy to have around.
Oh man, just had a reading done by the best
I know,
astrologer in the world.
Astrotheology. Yeah, it kind of has a cool effect, yeah?
Yeah, it really does.
It's only because you deserve it, though.
Yeah, now, if you really want to understand how to read every house with 3 lords and their condition, and because the first lord will deal with one aspect of the house, the second lord will deal with another aspect. So, Mars will deal with the children, Venus will deal with the pleasure, and the moon will deal with sports and gambling and the other things, right? So, if you really want to nut this out, probably a good book to get would be Introductions to Traditional Astrology. That's the title of the book. And it's the works of Abu Mashar and Al-Kabizi, the famous medieval astrologers from the East, the Islamic astrologists. I'd be getting that book, and you can understand how to do readings with that.
Yeah, I already planned on buying that.
Yeah, translated and edited by Benjamin N. Dykes, Ph.D. Wonderful book. Get this book, folks, and support this guy. But there's so many others I'd recommend. I'd also recommend getting Bonatti on basic astrology. Bonatti was the guy, he was a contemporary of Boniface VIII, the Pope who wrote the Unum Sanctum. And both of these guys, Bonatti and Boniface, both beginning with Bon, were cursed by Dante in the Divine Comedy. Dante Alighieri, had negative things to say about both of these guys. But obviously, Dante, being such a great philosopher, he would not have been against astrology. We've done that as it's just a thing to do. You put astrologers where tradition in this world places them, in hell, with the devil, because that's what the world wants. And if you're going to escape the Inquisition and you're going to be clever, you will write your books, and Dante would have preserved his life by doing such things. Because, if you give favour to astrologers, first thing is when the trolls 700 years ago, as the trolls are doing today, listening to this radio show, that are ready to pounce on truth speakers because they get a pay, they would have been knocking on Bonatti's door within moments of him publishing his beautiful works, or on Dante's door, and they would have processed him in a trial as an accused for the Inquisition. So you must understand this. But definitely these three books, Firmicus Maternus, and you can throw Vettius Valens in the mix too, and you'd have the complete, reference works, I think, to be able to read your chart and understand the as above of your nature.
Okay, well, there you go. And I have another couple of callers I'm probably going to bring in for a sec, but if you could, Santo, go over that April date, the influx of spirit.
Well, I haven't checked, and I don't remember the reference. I know I've spoken a lot about April. April will be a very productive month. It always is. It produces the blossom. It produces that fiery burst of initial Aryan energy to start off the new year. All year begin in Aries. Everything starts in Aries. There is nothing that does not commence in Aries, the ram, the cerebrum. In fact, the cerebrospinal system is the first fully developed system out of the 12 bodily systems. And it is the maker of the rest. It is the Aries, the tribe of Gad in the Israelite system, is God, and it is the ruler of the body. The whole body listens to Aries, the cerebrum, and Taurus, because it's the motor brain. And the motor brain directs the body. So the bull and the ram with their horns, symbolically, are teaching you that those two tribes of Israel, which are detached from the torso and the rest of the body, command the other 10 tribes of Israel. And so Aries has that initial burst of fiery cardinal fire that starts the new year. And everybody goes out and plants seeds. You see? We're in the northern hemisphere. Everybody's planting now with the moon. Seeds that everything that's planted under the ground, waning moon. Everything, little plants that are planted above the ground, waxing moon, full moon. And so what's going to happen now that we have Uranus in Aries, the revolutionary, the idealistic, the anarchist, the revolter, the original, what is he doing in Aries? Well, he is causing us all to revolt against what is bad and evil and corrupt. And Venus is in Aries with Mars. This is very sexual energy, very, very highly sexed energy, for the purpose of fecundating.
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, Santo. Not sure if that's on my end or yours.
Okay, well, it's broken up here as well, if that helps.
Okay, no, I'm still on the board. Yeah, and you can hear me, so it means we're still going live, so something happened on his end, so let me see. Okay, come on.
Have, or right ascension of meridian, we have a conjunction. But the interesting thing about Mars and the Sun this year is that they are on the same declination. Check your declinations. the sun is always at 0 degrees declination because he owns the ecliptic. Whereas all the other planets are going to be going above positive declination. In other words, they will be 3 or 4 degrees above the ecliptic. Pluto's radical. He's sometimes 16 degrees above the ecliptic. If I'm not wrong. Mars is also very inclined, steeply inclined. But to have Mars and the Sun on the same declination, the two fiery boys in Aries, the Sun exalts in Aries and Mars rules Aries. There's 9 points of essential qualities there. Rest assured that something big is happening on April 17th when these two fiery boys are in conjunction and parallel in declination. That's an eclipse. Really, that's like an eclipse. This is very, very powerful. Very martial, aggressive energy. I'm suggesting that it's going to be a blow to the ecclesiastical fictional system in one way or another.
Yeah,
they will. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, there was also some talk around May 24th, 25th as well. I'm not sure what you'd heard about that, but it resonates with me in that over here they celebrate Victoria's birthday. They call it the May 2-4 weekend. And, when I see syncs like that, I kind of go, all right. Radar goes off. So I'm just wondering if there's anything around that. But April 17th for sure, absolutely. We did lose a little bit of you there, but the most important stuff came out. Yeah, you broke off for a bit and then came back and then right into the Mars-Sun energy, Mars and which, again? Declination.
On the same declination and right ascension of meridian. So you call that a conjunction and a parallel, you see? So they've got to be parallel for an eclipse. Because, when you look up, when you see conjunctions in the chart and you look up, for instance, the reading will tell you that, say, the moon is conjunct Jupiter, and yet they are very distant from each other. Well, that's because they are conjuncting in terms of longitude, but they're not eclipsing. There's not an eclipse happening because they're not on the same parallel, or declination. So this is going to be very, very powerful. People born on that day.
Okay, people born on that day, what?
Will be very, very powerful. Very military and strong and successful. Famous people have a lot of famous people have conjunctions in their charts that have to do with parallels and declinations that are the eclipses. The planets are eclipsing. It's an eclipse, really. So people born with eclipses, there's a lot of power coming through into their lives. There's a lot of energy. Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Yeah, sometimes not so good. Yes, indeed. Met a few of those, I'm sure. Met a few of both, actually. So, again, very powerful information. And this is one of the reasons I just love letting you go. It's just you, Mary, and a handful of others that I have been so fortunate to come into contact with in regards to this. I'm starting to get my head around it. I mean, I have a very basic understanding. When you start getting into the technicals like that, that requires a whole lot more study, and I know you're way, way further down that road. And, of course, you have to be a guy. I've got a different road to take. Wow, that's powerful stuff. So what I can do, is that rock for you, Augustus?
Oh, yeah, that rocks and roll. That rocks and roll.
Okay, that's good. That's all we want. We want to make sure people get empowerment here. This is what this is about. This is about powering you guys up. Come on up on the hill, or you don't have to, actually. We're on the hill already, but it's, the water's fine. Don't worry, we cleared a lot of the sharks out. So I'm going to quickly go down the list of phone numbers here and just do a quick shout out, and then I guess we can wrap this wonderful evening up. This has just been incredible. Okay, so I'm going to go to 661 area code 74.
Hey, it's me.
Is that you, Rob?
Yeah, can you hear me this time?
I can hear you this time. Couldn't hear you last time.
All right, I don't know what was going on there. Well, yeah, he just answered that question. That's what my question was about what date he said, and it's April 17th.
Yeah, it was kind of cool when he came back in after we lost him a little bit there, and was like, oh, there it is. There's the bingo jackpot. That's what we were after. No, so it was good. That was good. All right, I'll leave your mic open. Any other things you want to toss in here, Rob?
No, just want to thank him for last night. He really blew my mind about what he said about my chart. And and I've always been kind of an herb guy with shamanism, basically. I mean, I got a lot of Indian blood in me.
Well, there you go. You know, I told you last night, you got an uber responsibility chart. So you know, and
yeah, no, I need to talk to you one night or something one day.
Well, anytime. You know I'm around.
Okay. Alrighty.
Hey, you know, I'm the most accessible radio host on the planet, guaranteed. Guaranteed. So I make myself available. So make yourself available, and no one.
Okay, you're awesome.
Well, I wouldn't. Well,
you are awesome.
Oh, okay. That must be. I got to figure what that part of me is. Might be my Neptune retrograde. Yeah, I think it's Neptune retrograde. That whole. Yeah. I'll figure it out. One day, I actually hope to have an ego at some point. A little one, anyway, just to kind of keep up with some people. Holy! But anyway, there you go. I'll leave my Leo ascendant in place to take care of that. When it gets too much, I just roar. It scares people away. It works, you know. But hey, there you go. All right, I'll leave it open, Rob. So I'm just going to carry on down the list here, and we'll make it a free for all. Area code 56178. Area code 56178. Your mic is hot.
That would be me.
And who's me again?
This is John.
John, how are you?
I spoke to Santos before about distilled water quite a long time ago. I was hoping to get a reading, but just based on the way your show is going tonight, I discovered that once you go over the 2-hour limit, you can only listen to you over the phone.
Yeah, that's it.
I wasn't aware of that.
But it's archived. This is the thing. It's recording so that when you download it, it's all there. So that's why we just keep rolling.
Well, I was hoping to get at least a basic reading. I've been trying to do this for a long time, and I don't know if Santos is willing to go for it. Santos, do you remember me?
What was your name?
John. West Palm Beach, Florida. Spelled spaghetti?
I think so, John.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, let's do a reading. I'm not going to be able to do any of this sort of stuff one-to-one with people emailing me because I've only got 2 weeks till I go to Ecuador. Too busy. So, you know, but if you hop on these shows, I'll do that because then at least people benefit. And as Kate said before, Kate's getting more understanding and getting a handle on it because that's what I'm doing.
Right.
You know, I'm doing this to, if you concentrate while I'm doing this stuff, you will actually get skills. You know, it's like a carpenter teaching his apprentice, but you've got to, you know, he's got to watch, and so if you, this is totally for the purpose of enlightening and educating all of us to train us so that we can all do this, right? Because then we can help people. For instance, people who have no understanding of astrology, they've got problematic children, or they've even got their own problems. They don't know how to manage money, or they've got a sickness or something like that. Well, voila, you can come along. You go onto their computer, get their details, check out what's going on, and you can guide them as to their health and what herbs to take, and or what to do to deal with these dynamics that are in their chart. And so you will be not a dangerous, opinionated individual who, you know, like someone who turned up at an accident site and is so helpful that he grabs the head of the person who's just had an accident and turns it around and happens to snap their neck. So, whoops, sorry, but I did really intend to help. I really had good intentions. But, you know, so if we're ignoramuses and we don't know anything about this beautiful science that is the only way that you can know all things about yourself, the only interface we have between the above to know what's below, and so we are really then just becoming... Oh, Kate, can you take over for a minute, please? Hang on to that thought. I've got to take a phone call. Back in a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. And I'll just, John, I'm going to leave your mic open, and when Santo gets back, he'll definitely help out there. So I'll go to a...
Well, I was going to give you a little bit of information. Last night I noticed you had a little bit of frustration with the caller IDs that you were reading, 111 and stuff like that. Anytime you see 111 or you see the phone number appear twice, there's software out there where these telemarketers and collection agencies can block their caller ID and put in fictitious names. So you could actually get a call from your mother-in-law, and it could say somebody else. And it's real nasty. I've complained to the phone company about this. They said, well, there's nothing we can do. So the caller ID can actually be changed.
Okay. Back. Oh, there you are. All right. I guess we won't go to the next call. But, yeah, thank you for that, John.
All right. So anyway, I think I explained what I wanted to say. We can all be equipped, just like people who have done their medical training, and then they know what to do when they turn up at an accident scene. And isn't it beautiful to have those people that know what to do? They know exactly what to do. It's so reassuring that people have taken their time to educate themselves about how to deal with people that are bleeding in an accident scene, and et cetera, et cetera. So the same is with this science. How much benefit you can bring to people by knowing these simple principles. And it's so easy. It's kindergarten stuff. I mean, we're talking about elements here that we understand. Earth, well, that's solid stuff. Air, well, that's gassy stuff. Water, well, that's liquid stuff. And that's what the universe is made of, for goodness sakes. This science is not foreign to human beings. We are gods. We can understand all of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is kindergarten stuff. Yep. All right, so let's do this.
Before you do the chart, I just want to kind of sum up everything you just said there. It is much easier for Santo to help the many versus the one-on-one. One of the things that I've taken role of is if people need to contact someone directly, I'm here. Santo's got research to do, Tony's got research to do, and I take care of my Geminian role of communicator while they take care of what they're doing in the Aryan and Taurus bands of things. So just be mindful of that, and I do love the fact that Santo will come on and do these for people, and with the many that are listening, everyone can benefit. So that's, again, I always like to mention to people to be mindful of time, and it's not an issue. I mean, it's a sharing time thing. So that is exactly what Santo needs to be doing. He needs to be talking to the many, not the few. So that works perfectly. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the date, 5/27/1952.
All right, hang on a minute. 27 May.
1952.
Beautiful. Got it.
1:50 p.m. Hartford, Connecticut.
That would be HARTFORD?
Yes, sir.
There it is. 27th of May, 1952, 1:50 p.m. Hartford. And so there you have at 1:50, you see, you can predict this. I knew now that your son would be in the 9th house of spirituality. So anyone born between 12 and 2, that's when you want your kids, your children to be born. When this after, in fact, from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock every day is the best time, because the sun will be either in the 11th, the 10th, or the 9th house. You don't want the sun in the 8th house. You don't want your children born between 2 and 4, if possible, because then the sun's going to be around the 8th house, depending on the latitude you're at and depending on a lot of other things. But you need to know this. So for all the pregnant women out there that are about to have children, and lo and behold, their child is about to be delivered, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you might want to just check and perhaps hold off the cutting of the cord till after 4 o'clock, just in case, and so you can have the sun in the 7th house. Right? Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So sun in the 9th house. Let's just go straight to that first and do a reading, which is actually backwards from how I like to do things. But again, I said I like to mix it up, and let's have a look at the sun. In the 9th house, natives who have the sun in the 9th house make images of the gods or worship divine images, or they decorate the gods, design their temples, or write hymns and praises of the gods. Well, the sun in Gemini, obviously you're Geminian, the sun in Gemini already guarantees, because the lord of Gemini is Mercury, that you will have hermetic propensities. But in the 9th house, together with Venus and Mercury in the 9th house, Mercury and Venus in Taurus in the 9th house, by the way, this is beautiful. This is charm. This will give you charm. And Jupiter is also in Taurus. My goodness, this is magnificent. So Venus is domiciled 5 points, but again, she is not aspecting with any other planets. And we've had this with, who was it before, Kate? We had it with Carol and Augustus. His name Augustus?
Augustus, yeah.
Yeah. So isn't it interesting? Every day we do these readings, we see
multiplicity.
Yeah. So your Venus is also slightly aloof in the 9th house. There, the house of spirituality. But you've got great planets in the 9th house: Mercury, Venus, and the Sun. This is your spirituality. That's what's going on. And your Sun is receiving a trine from Saturn in Libra. Saturn exalts in Libra. You have 4 points from that exaltation, but he is retrograding. You lose 5 points. So you're -1 with Saturn. Nonetheless, he is strengthened in Libra, trining with the Sun in the 9th house, sending spiritual energy from the 1st house to the 9th house in the air element, which is a spiritual element. It's masculine, therefore it's spiritual, because the feminine signs are material, matter, physical. So Saturn, who loves a day chart, trining with the Sun in Gemini in the 9th house. This is magnificent. This is guaranteed that you will be doing spiritual themes. Now you're probably the eldest in the family. Is that so?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Saturn in the 1st house usually does that, right? Now Mars is also. Oh my God, you are just absolutely. You've got Mars in Scorpio. That's 5 points. Retrograding, so he loses the 5 points, but nonetheless, he rejoices in Scorpio, his rulership. You also have the moon in Cancer. My God, the moon in Cancer. She rules and is domiciled in Cancer. So you've got, these are all your domiciles. You've got 3 domiciles. Moon in Cancer, Mars in Scorpio, Venus in Taurus. 3 domiciles. My God. Some of these famous singers and actors haven't even got 3 domiciles.
Wow.
And you've got 1 exaltation, Saturn in Libra. But he loses his dignity anyway because he's in retrograde. Mars loses his 5 points in being in Scorpio because he is in retrograde. But they are so powerful nonetheless. Very, very powerful. Now, the ruler of your chart, this is important to establish this. The closest planet to the Sun is Venus. Venus gets 1 point. Jot that down. Your moon is in Cancer, which means the next sign it enters is Leo. The ruler of Leo is the Sun. The Sun and the moon are not participants in rulership of charts. So you have to go to the next sign, which is Virgo. The ruler of Virgo is Mercury. So Mercury gets 1 point for rulership. The ascendant sign is Virgo. Your ascendant is Virgo. So the ruler of Virgo is Mercury, as we've already established. Therefore, Mercury gets another go. 2 points for Mercury, for ruler of your chart. Now, the Sun is in the 6th degree of Gemini. Those terms belong to Mercury. Again, there's 3 significators for Mercury. So Mercury is out and out ruler of your chart, and Venus is also vying for rulership. Let me see, the most dignified planet in your chart, I'll give that to, let's have a look at Mars in the 2nd house by day. Can't be good. So it won't be Mars, I don't think. Nah, forget it. It'll be the Moon. No, and she can't qualify, so it's Venus. So there you go. Mercury gets 3 points for rulership. Venus is co-ruler with 2 points. So you're here to communicate. You are here to discover the Hermetic sciences. That's already established by Gemini in your MC and Virgo on your AC, the most important angles. Those signs are ruled by Mercury, so you are Hermetic through and through. Your Dragon's Head is in Aquarius, 24th degree. Therefore, when the Moon is in Aquarius, in the 2nd part of Aquarius, you're going to be having some prosperity there. Opposite that is Leo, and that's when you probably don't have much prosperity. But please, please, listeners, follow the Moon. Watch where she is every day, because if you're doing Nostradamus astrology and sidereal astrology, well then the Moon, when she's in your luck might spread through to the preceding sign. So it might also be in Capricorn. So you need to watch. You might have a 3-day spread of luck from Capricorn through to Aquarius. And since the ruler of both Capricorn and Aquarius is very well aspected in the 1st house, Saturn in Libra, his exaltation, you can rest assured you've got a very, very strong placement for your North Node. Very strong. You've got some great stuff in your chart, brother. I think you really need to make hay with this one. You're very, very, very blessed. I can find some negatives if I keep digging, but surely you are, you're really blessed with some great essential placements and accidental placements too.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I've not had a bad life, that's for certain.
Nah, not with this chart. No way. No way. Medicals, I'd probably be checking a few things. I can do that for you another time, but here are some probably... Well, there's nothing in the 6th house. The only thing I see is that you've got Jupiter in the 8th house. Does not like the 8th house, Jupiter, neither by day nor by night. Mars is in the 2nd house. Remember from the preceding reading that I said you don't want planets in the 2nd and the 8th. So probably a couple of acute things that will turn up in your chart. Maybe, all right, Taurus in the 6th degree is drowning or the sensation of drowning. Mercury in the 22nd degree of Taurus, defective sight and rheumatism. These are probably just I don't know. Jot them down. Don't be too concerned. I wouldn't be, especially if you're taking all the self salts. Cancer, 11 degrees of Cancer is alcoholism. Yeah, Cancer's always got addictions. The Moon, 21st degree, slightly badly aspected. Again, 22nd degree has to do with impaired vision, but the 21st degree doesn't have anything at all. Body fat. '19th degree, receiving a square...
You broke up. I missed it on the body fat. What did you say about body fat?
Well, you've got a fast metabolism according to this chart, and you will not be needing to worry about body fat.
Okay.
Yep. The metabolism's fast, so that shouldn't be a problem. 19th degree of Leo is nothing specific, but blood. 8th degree of Libra is nothing specific. Oh, yeah, jaundice of the kidney and renal pelvis. And Mars in the 2nd degree of Scorpio, again, drowning. So, I don't know, probably just be extra careful around water, and that's about it. Unless any of those resonate with you, this chart is definitely not concerned with health, the physical health of the body.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting.
That's pretty true. I've been pretty lucky with my health.
Yeah, but then again, always do a thorough reading, which I haven't done. Never take anything in isolation, and look at your ascendant in Virgo. Your ascendant in Virgo in a day chart means that your Earth rulers will be the Moon, Mars, and Venus, of course, because they are the Earth rulers. But the first one will be the Moon, then Venus, and then Mars. And you're lucky that they are all essentially dignified. So your health will be strong, absolutely strong.
Excellent. Good thing to hear when you're 61 years old.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, born in the year of the dragon as well. 52.
Yes, 52.
Yeah, you're a dragon like me. I'm 64, so yeah, right on. Well, it
was. I really appreciate it. I've been wanting to hear something about this for a long time. I just find it very confusing, but the more I listen to and the more I look at the chart, it begins to make sense. So,
yep.
I definitely want to get those books. Do you think there's somewhere you could post those books so we can get the actual names of them?
Yeah, on my website, I've got a list of all the good books that you need for syncretism on my website.
Okay, I'll just go to your website and check it out then.
And if you want my 10 best, just email me. I'll flick you over my 10 best books for syncretism.
I think I have your 10 best list already. Mm-hmm. I think I have quite a few of them already. Especially the one about the eyes from, is it David Card?
Yes, that's it.
Yes, that's a good one. And I'm definitely using the salts and the distilled water, and I'm getting amazing results.
Yeah, and I think, absolutely, I think you can take in the inorganic cell salts that are minerals and also take distilled water at the same time. I don't see any conflict with doing those two, because it's known that that distilled water leaches supposedly inorganic minerals, but what it's leaching is toxins. It's because there's no, according to George Carey, there's no such thing as for the body. The body does not. A mineral is a mineral is a mineral is a mineral. Fire or chemistry, nothing can change a mineral. So when people insist that you have to have organic minerals, because inorganic minerals, the body can't absorb them, it can. There's a chemical process whereby the mineral is released, the electric properties of the mineral is released in the blood. And George Carey explains this. It's a fiction. It's false to believe the opinion that you can't put inorganic minerals in your body. And distilled water will not leach those. It will leach toxins. And so that's, but then again, I'm not a biochemist, and you might want to just double check that, but certainly in my books and in harmony with what I've researched, there's no conflict with taking the two.
Absolutely. I'm going to jump in here because we got like 4 minutes before this show is going to drop off the recording. Just want to say a great big thank you to everybody. I've got a couple of lines here. I'm just going to quickly check just to make sure people get, so for the next show, to make sure that I'm aware of them and if there are things that they need. So really quickly here. Area code 810-33. Questions or comments? Okay. Just listening. All right. Area code 215-86. Area code 215-86. Your mic is hot. Questions, comments? Okay. And area code 406.
Let's do it.
Hey, you got about 3 minutes here, so what's up?
Me again.
What's that?
Doing. Right by there.
I can't hear you, hon.
To drink.
Hello?
Am I still hot?
Yeah, you're still going there.
Well, thank you, Santos. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Tony. As usual.
Oh, our pleasure. I know that. I'll speak for me, and I know Tony and Santo speak for yourselves, but this is what we do. This is what we do. 2 minutes, guys. Tony, you want to jump in and say a quick something, and then we'll roll this one up.
No, I was just going to say thank you for that, for all the the beautiful thanks that's come in. Really, it's been it's nice to know this information's getting out there, and for anybody that needs to catch up on anything, go for Sync, and Synchronicity will be up and running very well very soon, hopefully. All good.
Awesome. Well, I just want to say a great big thank you to everybody that chimed in tonight. We're part of the call. I love the fact that I get to be a part of your lives, and you get to be a part